Yo, can you hear me now?
Yo, yo,
What up?
what's going on, man? You got a different background? Are you at the same place or are you a different place today?
No, same place. We just ended up painting it.
Oh,
So there's the outside.
gotcha.
But oh wait, you might be able to actually see the lake from. Can you
Yeah.
see the lake right there?
Um,
Or is it
mm,
too bright?
it's too bright. I'm guessing it's behind the green stuff.
Yeah, it's like literally right behind it. You'll see like a red shed right there. Oh, why is it so fucking bright, man?
I know you had a lake by your place. That sounds pretty nice.
Yeah, literally, dude, like literally right outside. I live on a Oneida Lake.
I'd be chilling there all the time.
This is like we turned this room into like a chill room. It's like we painted I just painted it a while ago, but this is kind of like the mud room type of deal. So we have like this is like a couch, and then there's like a TV, that type of stuff.
Nice. Yeah.
But just chilling. I have the dance thing coming up this weekend. Uh-oh.
Oh, snap,
Oh,
mate.
the nerves are kicking in.
Oh. When's your thing? I remember you telling me about it. When's your thing?
It's this Saturday.
Okay. Is it Mason's going solo dolo or you got a
Solo
group?
dolo.
Oh,
Solo dolo.
snap. Okay. What are you performing to? What songs are you performing to?
It's called here, I'll send it to you right now.
Okay. Hmm.
We're dancers at the Cinema Marketing cheat code, Jorge.
Mason's talking about how he's got a live performance he's doing this upcoming week.
What do you mean live performance? Like you're like dancing?
Mason does the pop locking, bro. Didn't you know?
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Mason
Actually,
gets down, bro.
Someone's got to do it.
It's true.
All
you get down like that, bro.
right.
Oh, hey,
I
what's
just
up? How are you
searched
doing?
it. Like,
I'm good, bro. I'm good. How are you guys?
Chilling, just chilling, man. Is that like your jiu or is that like your
shower robe.
is that the Playboy robe? Which one of the robes is that?
Oh, bro, I was begging my girl for a robe that I could just chill in all day. I'm like, man, I need a robe. And she's like, don't worry, I got you. And she got me a robe. It's 100% Turkish cotton. So
Hey,
I'm like into like wearing natural fabrics on me. So,
is it
so
comfortable?
hell yeah, it was like my lounging thing. So I'm chilling.
I gotta check that out too.
Yeah, I'm free.
Let's go. Cool guys. Well, let's see who else we got. Mason, is that the song that you're dancing to?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
I'll check it out. Okay, so we got a few people. We can go ahead and probably get started. Riviera, hope you're doing well, bro.
You too, Koshik. Hey, everyone.
Hello, hello, hello. All right, so we'll go and get started. Who do we got first? Yeah, Jorge. So I left some comments and stuff like that. I guess questions, comments, concerns, thoughts. I mean, I kind of posed a question here for you, kind of asking you like what your perspective is and like why you think that, something like that is the move.
Yeah, I think the only reason I'm thinking the call center is the move is because of the somewhat success that I've been getting with my cousin that I hired her to basically be an appointment setter.
Okay.
Uh, basically, I'm allowed to leverage her, basically saving me time from calling them all the time and having somebody else that I can rely on in addition to myself.
Mhm.
And now that I'm getting more clients, I don't want to drop the ball and be like, damn, I didn't make the time to call every single one of the leads as soon as possible or get to them as soon as possible. So that's where I'm thinking like maybe if I actually hire somebody, I can I can use that to basically be on point with the appointment setting. And that's why I use my cousin as kind of like a guinea pig. I'm okay, like, will this actually work? Like, do we have systems in place that we can actually follow and train people with?
And like, what would you say? Like, how much are you paying your cousin, by the way?
$10 an hour. I don't know if that's the best way. I'm just like, what are you getting paid at your job? She's like, it's 15. I'm like, I'll give you 10. She's okay.
She hates her job.
I mean, she doesn't hate it. She doesn't mind it. She works at a bakery in this like big grocery store, but she's also in college. So she's like, she just uses this money for,
Part-time kind of the deal.
yeah.
Okay, so there's a video I was watching, and I was watching it specifically for Amun. And so this is a call with Tanner Chittister and a med spa owner. And so I can send this to you, but like when I watch these calls, I just like make notes. And so from what I've seen, like this is pretty average, which is her numbers are, she spends $750 on her media buyer, and then each of the people that set, which is what you're talking about, is like $700 a month. And they're foreign, so they're from the Philippines. And then she's got somebody that's a client success manager that she pays $3,400 a month to. So this is a pretty average team, like pretty industry standard. You got one person that's running ads, you got 3 people that's like setting for your clients, and then you got one person that's like the success coach for all your clients, like the account manager. So that's why I was kind of asking like what your price point was. Like $10 an hour will probably exceed this once you have enough clients, I think. And I think it's healthy to stay probably around this range. But like, okay, so I guess like what else is like brewing in your head? So like, okay, so talk to me about like what's happened with what since your cousin has hopped in, like walk me through like what's different now versus before.
Yeah, so the first thing is the show rate in the clients, right? It increased, I think, by like 5 or 10%. I gotta double check the actual notes, the KPIs, but also like just like being aware of it, it for sure increased. Just one, because we're collecting the card information, but two, also because we have that human to human interaction versus just relying on the automations or just texting them. So that is there, but also I think that she trained a little bit, so she has an understanding of like what martial arts is and like what she's selling. So that could be a little bit of a help. And then so I have her record everything on Loom. So she's kind of going through like the what if this happens, what if that happens, and I feel like we have a good database of like if this happens, then let's do this, right? So we can like basically troubleshoot certain things.
Good. So like if she wasn't doing this, so how many clients do you have right now, like active?
5.
5 active, and then how many are setting for themselves? How many is she setting for, and how many are you setting for?
I'd say it's a mixture of both me and her for all of them.
So all
And
5 of them,
like-
you guys are both doing it. Okay.
Yeah, and then of course like when they go in, whoever they have on deck as far as like staff members, the clients, they go up a little bit, but the ones who are actually on top of it are just me and her.
So say that last part again.
So the people who are only on top of the leads that we bring in are just me and her. So I wouldn't count the actual clients as like them appointment setting for themselves because they're not as reliable.
So how many of them are that, like where they're kind of like doing it themselves and they're falling a little bit behind?
Only one, Barry with Northbrook. He does it like here and there when he gets the leads. He'll text them and call them, but he knows that I'm also going to be the one that's mainly doing it.
Okay, and then how many hours are you putting in? And then how many hours is she putting in?
I'd say 10 a week.
10 her and 10 you?
10 me a week, and then I'd say 5 her a week on average. So she'll do like 2 hours like once every other day when she's not working at the other job. Then like I'll do like 2 hours every other day.
Okay. So I would assume doesn't want to do this full time. Like this isn't her thing. She's gonna go to college and figure out something that she wants to do. She's not gonna do this. This is just kind of like collecting that easy money. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many hours is she working at her job right now?
I think less than 20.
Okay. So if you guys were working Northbrook and he wasn't working them, how many hours would you guys be putting in for that one?
Not that many because there's not that many leads for them coming in as of right now. So
Mhm.
like within like she can get everything done within like 2 hours, 3 hours. Like as far as like calling all the leads, the new leads, and then calling all the old leads.
So
Following up.
22 hours a week is what's going into like following up with leads for all 5 clients.
Yeah.
So it's about 4 hours per client per week. So yeah, I mean, and so in terms of like I didn't know that you were putting in 10 hours. Like I didn't know that. So like for sure we can't be doing this for sure. So what I would recommend doing, bro, is like if she's like, I don't like, can you get her to do more? Can you get her to like maybe potentially quit her 9 to 5? I don't think this is like definitely like the smartest play and the best play for sure, like at all. But like just to kind of help you out because she seems more competent than if we were to try to go to the Philippines or go somewhere right now. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Do you think that you could get her to do more?
I could, yeah.
Okay.
Because she's learned it pretty well. Like she already has like her flow and everything.
Okay. What I would do if I were you is this. So here's what I was asking is like I was trying to figure out here's what I was ultimately trying to say here is like there are certain industries that like for sure you have to set for, and then there are certain industries that you don't have to set for. And again, I sent you that voice note about that. Um, to me, what it's sounding like, I mean, do you feel very confident that like this is an industry that like do you think that it's possible for you to be able to get them to set for themselves or no? Like realistic, like very realistically. Or do you feel like it's just way too much trouble and you got a bunch of other shit you got to take care of right now, like service delivery?
I feel like right now I'd have to kind of twist their arm to get them to put the effort that we do.
When you say twist their arm, define that for me. Like, what does that mean?
I feel like I'd have to like actually sit them down and like, hey, listen, this is like if we want this to work, this is like a serious conversation that you guys, I need you to commit to. And so having that conversation with them, I feel like it would just be more trouble of doing that than instead of just saying, hey, I'll just handle it all for you.
Okay. So in that case, then let's go and just like, and then what did Jay say in terms of his call center or what he was doing? Like, is that like what was he doing?
So the reason he said that was because he was doing a call center. He said it was working, but then I remembered he mentioned that he never collected any card information over the phone or anything like that. So that's why I'm like, that could be a piece that maybe
You're doing different.
I'm doing differently. It's working for some reason, but he also had a whole AI system in place. He has an AI appointment set in place.
So basically, what he does, he gets the lead, and then the AI basically sets everything up, and neither he or his client is really following with the leads.
Yeah, yeah. The AI is doing everything.
And do you feel like your stuff is better or on par with his stuff?
I don't know the answer to that exactly because I haven't done the AI yet. But I just feel like having the conversation with the leads on the phone is much better than like even if we were getting constant replies over text. Like if I'm appointment setting with somebody who's constantly texting me versus hopping on the phone with them, I think hopping on the phone with them is higher quality. Just because I'm able to actually like get a feel for how they sound, if they're serious or not, you know.
Um, and is there anything you can do to get that AI information? Because like what I would do, what my mind would go to as a business operator is like numbers, right? So like testing this with like your cousin with like 3 like places and giving it to her like all her time, and then 3 that you do AI and then compare the numbers and then decide for yourself, does it make sense to spend money? And because you like you're gonna have to like get like 3 to 5 people that you're gonna have to manage eventually if you go that route. That's the problem. It's not necessarily a problem, but you're gonna have to somebody's gonna have to manage them.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
do you think you can get that information from Jay and we can test that out? Like, can we test that out?
yeah, he was telling me he's like whenever if you're ready, he has like the whole he's like an affiliate for the system for the AI system where he's like, hey, I could basically sell this to you and then I teach you how to implement it and all this stuff and you
How
can
much would it cost? Did he go over that?
not yet. I think it was like a few $100.
Okay, that's not bad. I think that's worth it. So let's do this then. So I would say I haven't seen this yet. I haven't read this yet. So I would say get off the setter calls. Like you have to for sure, bro. You got to get off of them. Like there's no way. There's no way. You got to get off the setter calls, get cousin on more and document everything and try to get her to create a course and or training. Like not like a crazy course, but like, hey, here's what I do here. Like try to get her to organize information because she's the one that's doing it. Get Jay's bot info and let's make sure pricing is good. And then split test 3 and 3. AI and then human. So that's kind of where my head's at in terms of like what I would do if I were you. And then obviously like with new creative and trying to scale up. Yeah, so that's kind of where my head would be this week. Let's get those other ads launched, spend more time there, spend less time on these setters, get her to do more, get like kind of put that off your plate, bro. Like that's what I would do, drive more revenue. Yeah, that's pretty much it. What are your thoughts?
I think that's a solid plan. As far as like actually getting the split test between the AI bot and then my cousin, I think that'll help a ton too.
Yeah, and then make sure make sure to document all the numbers for each of the clients. Will average everything out. Ideally, all clients are the same in terms of how good, bad they are, or it's an average. And so what I'm just saying here is just like, you know, if you pick 3 here, 3 here, you have like 1 dud and 2 okay, you have 1 dud and 2 okay. You don't want to have 3 duds here and 3 studs here. That wouldn't be fair. So that's how I would make sure I would do it if I were you as well.
Okay.
Thoughts?
No, I'm just thinking, okay, I'll reach out to Jay and then ask him about that thing too. So that's pretty straightforward. The last question I had was on number 3 about how one of my clients is running ads alongside my current ads. And I was thinking like maybe that's why the first few days have been like really shitty. Like we've gotten 0 results. Like like $100 per that lead.
Yeah.
Now that's the only person I've ever had that experience with. And that's the only person that is also running ads alongside mine.
Which is this a new one? A new client?
Yeah, this is with Forrest. He's the guy that was a 3K for the PIF.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so with him, it's just kids martial arts, so like Taekwondo, karate, stuff like that.
So what's going on? Like he has another agency running ads, or like what's the situation?
For these academies, it's a franchise, right? So there's this one guy that's like basically has like his hand in all of the franchises. And then from there, he's able to have his own system to basically run ads for everybody. And it's like very like stock, like it's the same thing, copy paste everywhere. But those ads are still active.
So is it so the guy at top and then Ferris is one of his guys? So Ferris is one of the guys that are underneath this main guy is running ads for a bunch of agencies or a bunch of spots. So there's a guy at top and Ferris is one of the people that he's working with.
So he was already like the guy that he bought it from was already using him. So he's like, okay, I might as well just keep up using him, but also use mine.
So that guy, how much is Ferris paying that guy?
I think the franchise pays, I don't know exactly how much they pay him, but I think he has a good deal with them.
So basically it's like a McDonald's and then he's part of the McDonald's. And so therefore, because of the amount of money that he pays for the franchise fee or whatever, they automatically run the ads. So it's kind of like a deal that he has like, hey, you're a McDonald's and by default, we're going to run ads and do the marketing for you. And so that's why he's automatically getting that. And then what he's trying to do with you is he's like, okay, I got this thing going, but I need to scale up.
Yeah.
That's where
Right.
Jorge comes in. I see. Shit. Well, do you know what his results are from that other agency, that other guy? By the way, that guy, what that guy is doing, that's what you should be doing.
yeah,
By the
that's
way, you're
when
off.
you look at the systems. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. This is literally like the pinnacle of it, right? Like one of the top things.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to kill with this guy, get him out of the question. But until then, I don't know exactly what kind of results he's been getting. He said that on our first sales call, he was saying that that guy that they have was getting like okay results. And I don't know what he means by okay results as far as like numbers, but I guess enough for them to keep paying him and keep those ads active.
Um, yeah, it's hard to know. Do you know what offer they're running or anything or no?
So I'm doing mainly kids. He's doing one offer for adults, like mainly adults. So he's got like 4 different ads running for adults.
So that would be my other thing. Just you just have to reach out to them and see what kind of numbers they're working with, and then we can kind of base your results off of that and be like, okay, is this one like obviously it's not normal if we're comparing to the other 4 clients that you have.
Mhm.
So you're doing kids, and then okay. So let me ask you this: you're not doing kids for anyone else, are you?
Yeah, for 1 month for one other person.
Oh, okay, cool. And then what is your cost per lead for that other person?
We were launching tomorrow.
Okay, so you haven't launched ads for kids yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So that will be a better gauge is like because if you're trying to base the $100 off of your old client like campaigns, I don't think that's fair because this one's for kids and that one's for that, and maybe it's actually not that good. Like if we're just being like again, I don't think that's the case, but it is possible that
Yeah.
maybe it's not that good. So if you run this new campaign for these new people that are kids and similar results, like, oh, okay, I just need to create a better campaign, better offer.
Yeah.
Then it has nothing to do with that guy's the franchisor's ad spend.
Okay. Sure. I should still ask him for these numbers though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So ask Ferris about all those numbers, ad spend, what kind of offers and ads they are, cost per lead, cost per acquisition, average, I would say even like, average order value, average number of new customers a month. So yeah, you want to just ask him holistically, okay, like what's this other agency doing? And then take the numbers from the new campaign, and then we'll come look at all that, and that'll give us a better gauge of like if what's going on with Ferris is normal or not. Why did he reach out to you to work with you? Is this was the word of mouth person?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did it lead to that, considering he's already got somebody like running ads and stuff?
So this was before we had the conversation of me running his ads potentially before he bought the place, before he closed on it. And then after he closed on it, he's like, hey, just close. Let's have a conversation. So then we had that conversation. He's like, cool, we have this guy already running these ads, but I want to see how well you do because you told me that you specialize in martial arts academies.
Okay. But like why? Like why did you like so how long ago did he close on this place?
Probably like a month ago.
So he's been running this place for about a month now, this business.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And like why? Like just he wasn't happy with them, he thinking their average results. Like, why would he be like, hey, look, I'm going to spend $3,000 on this person, Jorge? Like anything else other than like, let me just give this a shot.
I think, I mean, it could be because I told him that this is all I do, like with the other academies. So I have that experience. So maybe that's why, because I'm a friend of a friend. that could be it. But as far as like a hard reason, like I wouldn't be able to say.
Just curious. Just curious, like what problem he's trying to solve. And again, I'm kind of in the dark because I don't know what kind of number he's getting. It's just like I think my mind is just like I have a not like my mind is naturally just going like, oh, he's probably spending 1,000, 2,000, getting a decent amount of results. Like, why would he want to bring somebody else on? I think that's what's brewing my head, but I think it's very well possible that we'll figure out something entirely differently. Maybe they'll only spend $250 a day, a month. It's like, oh, okay, that's why he's only spent 250. He wants a skill. That makes sense. So, anyways, like that's like these last 2 points pertain to that last one. That's what I would do if I were you. And then we can kind of take it from there. Cause like, yeah, there's not much more I can tell you until we have more data. The campaign you're running for the kids, like, is that something you funnel hacked or?
It's the same thing as my other ones. I just replaced the offer with kids.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, one thing you can do actually is reach out to Adam, Tony, and ask them to see their creative backend for their kids.
Adam's in here, by the way.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, I reach out to, shoot them a message so that Adam, Tony, when they get a chance, can maybe send you a Loom video so you can see their creatives and just see everything. And then maybe that'll give you inspiration of like what you're doing versus what they're doing. Maybe there's some things that you can pick up on. Maybe the marketing needs to be slightly different. You know what I mean? Maybe the way that they're marketing is specifically like the font, the languaging is for like just the way that they're doing it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's kind of another thing I would do. We get into it, but I feel like, that might be a whole 30-40 minute thing for us to really digest and figure out what's going on. So I think having that from them and then letting me know, filling me in, and then I can have a look myself as well.
Okay, yeah.
What else is brewing in your head, bro?
Nothing. That's it, really, and just the lead format. So I don't know if you saw the last one, my most recent question. It was basically just in the lead form itself. Just to confirm, I'm gonna be just duplicating the ad set and just injecting the new ads in it, right? From Jay's targeting, all that stuff.
Whatever's
And copy everything.
Yeah, whatever's been working for you, like whatever's getting us the $30. What this is lead form ads for your clients.
This is the one for me for acquiring clients. Yeah.
Okay. So for you to acquire your own clients, what I would do is I would do the same target, same everything that's already been set up. The only difference is lead form ads.
Okay. And then within that lead form, I had an extra qualifying question. Basically asking them like, what's your revenue? I wanted to get your thoughts on that. And then the second one was, what's the name of your academy? Because I noticed that the only qualifying question that was in there was just, do you own a martial arts academy? Yes or no? And it'd be like 50-50. I get people that put no, I get people that put yes. So I just want to have that in there to see like, I can actually go in and kind of look them up.
What what's his name? Did Jay what was Jay's form? What did his look like?
His just had that question. Do you want a academy or no?
And then your questions are what? It's revenue and
what's the name of your
what is the monthly recurring revenue? What is the name? Okay. Daniel, what questions do you have for your dentist lead form? Like, what is your qualifying question? Do you have a qualifying question? I think you have one, right?
Yeah. I think it's like, are you a dentist / practice owner? And then it's just yes, I am, or no, I'm not. I gotta look into the exact phrasing, but it's just basically asking if they're an owner. Pretty much.
I think what was happening, bro, like in your case and Riviera, is like just people are idiots, dude. Like people are idiots that, the consumers, they'll select yes, they'll select no. They don't fucking know what they're talking about. I don't know. But like my hope is that the creative and the algorithm will actually find you jiu-jitsu business owners, and then they are going to go and select yes, and yes, it'll. So I don't think you need to add more resistance is what I'm saying. I would model. I would start with modeling, and then we can we can iterate. We
Okay.
can see how things go. I would just start by modeling first.
All right, cool. That was the last question I had.
Cool. Thanks, Riviera. Cool. Well, if there's anything else, bro, let us know.
Cool. Thank you.
Who do we got next? Yeah, Riviera, man. Like nothing but good news for you, bro. Like, what's going on, man? How you doing?
After a lot of so-so results for sure.
Yeah.
It felt like it was overnight. It was so went from like 0 to 100.
Yeah, for
Kind of
sure.
wasn't ready for it low key, but I ended up bracing myself and just making it work and getting over the anxieties of just getting a bunch of people flowing in. Because it was launched too for a couple days and it was stagnant, and then once the first real dentist opted in, then they just kind of just started coming through like bananas. So yeah, it's just discovery calls. Had like one reschedule, and then he wouldn't like text back, but for the most part, everyone jumps on a discovery with me. And then I get them at least to commit to a sales call. I haven't been on one sales call yet, but after this is pretty much I have two sales calls. So I've just been kind of keeping them warm, texting, just gonna text him an hour before Aman really was gracious enough to kind of show me how he kind of gets them keeping warm up until the call. So I use some of his language and phrasing, and they've been pretty responsive to it. So super thankful. I don't think he's in here, but super thankful for him showing me that. But yeah, I just feel like it's just starting, so I feel like I don't have enough data to say like these are my roadblocks. I feel like I'm just figuring out my voice and stuff, so I'm kind of in the midst of that. I guess like the big questions are just like, and I also saw your whole video. I saw the whole video, the one that you told me, the C-Roy, the one with Matt Shields and C-Roy. Yeah, that was gold. I felt like chiropractor really spoke to, it's very similar to dental in the sense that it's, it's care, it's healthcare in a sense. And the way he kind of talks about the leads and how they are and the objections are kind of like how they speak. It's like, okay, that's how kind of like my dentist talk like on the phone. So super helpful video. I've even put some notes down on like some certain things. Like he has anchor statements he uses, and he just kind of relates everything on his pitch deck. If he does use a pitch deck, if he doesn't, he just relates anything that he's like talking through the demo like back to the pain point. And yeah, I'm just gonna try a little bit of that today. Hopefully can remember it all and not sound robotic. But yeah, I guess my question is like, is this like, because it's just starting, so I feel like what there's a pattern I'm seeing is a lot of them just want to get to pricing real quick, and I think seeing that video you just showed me with Matt Shields and all that, it kind of opened my eyes to maybe I'm not setting like here's how the call's going to go, right? Like I'm not setting that strong expectation in the beginning, so they're kind of like they don't know where to go, they're not being led, so they're going to just be like, hey, what's the price? But I don't know. I feel like there's also a sense of urgency because a lot of them, all my discovery calls were on the weekend, and I can kind of sense in their voice, like when I would tell them like at the end of the discovery, like, hey, let's jump on a demo call. It's like, so this, based off everything I'm hearing and your answers, it looks like a good fit. So I have a potential opportunity I want to show you, and it's something that would, I just need two things from you: one, internet access; two, you being able to jump on Zoom. So that way I can kind of showcase you what we actually do for our clients. So it's not voodoo, right? It's something you can actually see and tangibly see. And we just, if it makes sense financially and systematically, you just tell me yes or no. Yes, we rock and roll, and no hard feelings. How's that sound? And they're like, oh yeah, it's just, I'm so busy, and I probably have to get you late at night. And a lot of these dentists have kind of said that, or there's always a sigh after I say a second call. And I think it was because it's leading to the weekdays, right? But they are naturally super busy. So I'm curious, like, what are your thoughts on like doing a one call?
Yeah.
Like where like I'm like, hey, do you have time now? I can send you a Zoom link and then we just carry it over from there, whatever, because we're still on the phone. So
How have your conversations been leading up to the discovery call? Are you able to keep them warm? Are you able to like text them and then they get back to you?
So most text back with the website question, like Mason kind of helped me with right in the beginning. He's just like, oh, show, like, do you have a website, right? Like a very simple text. And I think like 80 or 90% of the dentists like text their website. So I'm able to kind of research them and stuff. So I feel like that's always good. And then when I tell them like, hey, your discovery call, because they book an appointment, right? I'm like, an hour before, like, hey, you're in an hour, I'm gonna go on and jump on a 10-minute call, da da da. And sometimes they don't text back, sometimes they do, but for the most part, they answer. Even the ones that don't text back sometimes, but yeah, so sorry, I maybe have lost your question right there, but
Okay. I'm trying to like I want to get this over to you before I forget.
Mhm.
Um, video. I'm sending these before the discovery call and see if they digest it or not. If you can get them to buy in, then we can do a one call close. If not, then it may need to be two call close as default and pivoted to one call close on the fly. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is that what I would do is, have you seen like, do you have a video where you kind of like go over your mechanism and how it works by any chance?
like kind of like the demo. A video on it of me like showcasing it. I gotta check. I gotta go through my Loom, but I believe I think I do.
So this is what I'm
Oh,
talking
like that, like that. Thank you page. Yeah, I do have that on my
this
I do
video, right?
have that for them, yeah.
Not necessarily like this video, but like this
Oh,
video.
not the
This is
I
a
don't
So
think I
this
have
right
that.
here,
so what it's kind of like a mini VSL where he's kind of explaining overall like what the strategy looks like. So
Mhm.
what I'm saying, like the most important thing to get people to buy into is the methodology, is like the machine.
Mhm.
Currentio.com/. Okay, thank you. Instagram. Yeah. Okay. So, this is what I'm gonna sending over. I had a different kind of funnel back in the day where I was telling people to come in here, watch this video, which is like how our free video commercial offer works. It's a 13-minute video. Hello, please stay up there. I am super, super excited that you're here and watch this video because I got some 80 minutes of stuff. I don't want to make it too long, but again, because I don't want to make this video too long, but there's an entire script. So as you can see, I'm just like, people are brilliant invest in marketing. I'm just running through the whole thing so they can see it. Nowadays, what I do is when somebody hops in, I get them to watch this video, which is, basically license, like what we do as agency owners. And so that's kind of like my way of getting people bought in. It's like, after they watch this, are they bought in? Yes or no? If they are bought in, then I will hop on a call. Both this. And again, for Aman, a lot of people aren't really watching this and he tries to get them to watch it, but like, it's like, this is our kind of our litmus test of, are we going to hop on a sales call with them? If they're excited about this, well, then we just have to kind of sell them on ourselves, sell them that like we are not a scam, the price actually makes sense, all that stuff. So what I'm trying to get at is like, what I would do, one thing you can work on is like, take your testimonials and create a video like this. What I would do is this, carve out time to create a video like this. It doesn't have to be crazy. Like you can do it literally like mine. I'll send you my page here. And like super simple. And try to get them to watch this. And this is one thing I was telling Jorge is like, what you can do is you can send people via your Instagram. So you can post on your Instagram and then send them that post. This way they see the post, they see the social media engagement, they likes, comment, shares, all that stuff you're following and your other stuff. And that'll naturally just nurture them before your discovery call. And so then what happens now is on that call, you can turn that into a potential one call close. So if things go well, convert that over to one call close on the fly.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
They just need more content with for that. That's all. If you try to convert it now, some people might say, yeah, but it's going to be very hard. They're going to say, maybe, let me think about it. And then you're going to go back and forth and chase them down before you know you fucking lost them. But if you get the content first, then I have a feeling this could work for you.
Yeah. Yeah, especially some of them are telling me, oh, I've already talked to 3 agencies. I've worked with 2 agencies. I've talked to just 3 recently. Some aren't like that. Some of them have been just saying, hey, I've been ignoring all these agencies, ignoring so many messages in my inbox, and I finally saw your ad and I clicked on you, but then it could be the inverse, and they're like, oh, I've already talked to 3 people, and so just get down, let's get down a price. Let's go. Like, just tell me, break it down. You already done dental, you know what the number is, like just break down what you do. And then
What
some of them are a little more aggressive like that. So
what do you feel like the issue is like with these people? Like, I guess like we can bucket them up. So the ones that have said, hey, look, I've seen a bunch of other agencies and they've reached out to me and like I'm seeing your ad. Like, why are they going to you? Like what is the reason they're going to you after all these other people are like trying to hit them up?
Yeah, and that's kind of why the first question Lee was like, oh, what made you click on my ad? And they're just like, oh, I've gotten a lot of messages, a lot of people, but I think, I just saw you and, it just looked like I like the way you do your content. Sometimes they click on my IG, right? Or they click on my Facebook. They're like, I just like the way you do content. It looks like, I want to, because they're like boutique cosmetic dentistry, so they're very like into the how they are perceived, right? Like how they look. So branding's kind of important for them. I've noticed a pattern of them talking about content and branding and how they look. So I think sometimes they talk about they haven't jumped on the boat with another agency. It's simply because the ads they kind of showed them in the demo are like, I wouldn't be proud to even advertise that. It makes me feel like, um, it makes me feel like cheap, right? So sometimes they'll say that. Sometimes, if
I think I'm up next. Is that Alice? I said I think I'm up next after this guy.
Kyle, I think you're
Kyle.
you might want to put went off mute for a second there.
Oh, sorry, guys.
You're-
Sorry.
so there's that bucket, and then there's another bucket of someone like, hey, I've done this before, didn't work. I've worked with like 2 other agencies. Here are their names. Here's the guy who runs it. They'll give me the first and last name. And they're pretty like, and they'll just say, they say it's gonna work, doesn't work. I'm just curious, like, let's get down the videos. So tell me more about these videos. And then I notice even the guys who are aggressive, they're saying, hey, I've already talked to 3 people. They'd be like, but I saw your videos, so let's talk about videos. Like, what's that all about? So there's very like for sure the branding of like how my maybe Instagram is, and kind of draws them. Maybe that's the thing that like makes them, because like why even be burned by 4 other agencies? They want to talk to your 5th one. Like, I'm trying to get in their minds like why would someone even want to do that? So it sounds like maybe they're just looking at me as like the differentiator, right? The differential, and
Pop
with the
quiz.
ad
How do
stuff.
you solve this one? And kind of see where I kind of sort of went over this, right? And I kind of went over this. How do you solve this problem? When they say, hey, it didn't work for this other person, like how would you solve that?
Just kind of asking like what was the issue? Like, was it leads? Was it booking? And find out there. And then from there, just, usually it's just getting leads, honestly, like from what it sounds like, they just don't get enough. So I just kind of go into, we kind of nurture and we kind of use video to kind of, get more hooks, more eyes. We just need focus on clicks, find out what works so we can start, building you a pipeline, right? So
Yeah. So the number one thing, this is again what I was mentioning to you, is like figuring out, speak to them and sell them what they want. So if somebody's telling you, oh, we're not getting leads, well, then it's at the ad level, right? And so then you have to basically explain to them. And I by the way, maybe you want to write this down. I would, and again, maybe you're just kind of saying this, but like I definitely would not be saying like, oh, we're going to do it and trying to, and we're going to see what works, we'll figure out. I would not be saying
not say
You-
that much.
never say figure out.
Yeah.
Never figuring anything out on anybody's dime ever.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't think I said that, but maybe in my head. But for sure, I'll.
So like, again, if somebody were to tell you like, oh, so step 1 is like, okay, got it. I understand things didn't work, just really quick, just to make sure that I understand, because I want to give you some closure. Can I ask you a few quick questions just to help diagnose what the issue even was? Because at the end of the day, I want to give you some closure. And then 2, on top of that, I really don't want to do the same that those guys did. And, if we can't help you, then, I would rather save you and I both time. So again, you just phrase it in a way that it's in their benefit. They answer your questions, and then you have to, again, your wisdom and your experience has to tell you where the bottleneck is. Is it here? Is it here? If they tell you it's an ad thing, it's like now you can lean into your video thing. It's like, got it. So yep, 100%. The reason it most likely didn't work is because of stock footage, stock images. Like, did you see their images, by the way? Was it stock footage, or like did they like tell you to create videos and photos from like your own camera? And they're probably gonna say yeah to both of those or one of those. We're like, got it. So that's why, here, what we do is what we've come to find is that when it comes to something like teeth, again, sell them some shit that they want, which is like what? When it
Yeah.
comes to teeth, something so important that's like your health. It's not like some, gym membership. This is something that's extremely important to them. And so that's why, the way you brand yourself is very important. So that's why what we do is we rely on, highly crafted content, especially specifically video content. This way they to actually know you. And what results in that is you're going to have a way higher click-through rate. Just like, again, how did you meet me? It's because you met me through a piece of content where there was an interview with another medical dentist business owner. Again, you're really going to that direction of like, it's the creative. Now, once you have that settled in, guess what happens? Cheaper cost per click, cheaper cost per lead, and then everything else flows naturally in terms of what must happen, which is like the leads come in, you have a conversation, get them in, upsell them, all that stuff. So again, hopefully that makes sense. Like that's how you would solve that
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. And then maybe just drill that in the sales call, like, because I'm gonna show them a demo and just say, this is how you told me how you're spending $1,000 ad spend, not including the service charge, and you were getting 10 leads a month, right? It's like, right. This is where we kind of solved the bottleneck for Dr. Lisa, and then maybe I could go into her funnel or maybe show him the kind of metrics because she's been getting really good results lately. So I hope to just jump in there and
You can, but like in my experience, people don't care about other people. People don't give a shit. They give a fuck about themselves. So if you do that, then he's gonna be like, okay, fuck Dr. Lisa. Unless Dr. Lisa's example is exactly like his. So again, you have to be very careful with your wording. It's like, okay, so your issue is here. And so really quick, this is Dr. Lisa. The reason I'm sharing Dr. Lisa with you is literally she is your twin. She had the exact same problem as you. She spent this amount, this is And so here's what we came to find out. And this is what we did. So again, we would do the exact same thing for you. So you have to relate it and make sure that it sounds like exactly.
Yeah, make sure it relates to where he sees himself in her shoes, and it has to be like on par.
And what the big thing you said about like, hey, when I do the demo, again, it goes back to what Hunter was talking about. Tie it to them. Tie it to them.
Yeah.
Tie it to them. So don't do the generic like presentation. Here's what we give a shit about like follow up and this and that if his issue is like the ads, right? So you really want on.
Yeah. So go hard on because the guy I'm about to talk to, his issue is just getting freaking leads.
Okay.
And after that, I have another sales call with someone who's just never done anything at all with like just basically is just brand spanking new to this whole world. So we're gonna have to come at it different for her. But
one thing I just sent Aman, I guess this could be beneficial to you. Is like I was talking about how like and I'll just send this to you. Is he was like talking about how to position a Botox offer, like especially not a Botox, but like specifically his strategy. And so I was like talking about like, okay, here's what most medical spas do. They want to go after the high-end client. Here's what the numbers look like. Here's why it doesn't work. Here's what the 99% of people do. I'm sorry, 99% of the agencies do. They do this put in through door method. And here's what the numbers look like. It's much better than the first, but not as good as what we do. And then finally, here's our methodology. Here's what we do. So what we're doing, new, unique, superior. Remember, those are the key things, new, unique, superior. And so I'll just share this with you, but like, this is something that would work very well for him. The new spanking guy. Why? Because you want like the brand new spanking guy is sometimes people hop and they're like, oh, I wonder what's out on the other end. I should have a conversation with somebody else. Right. And then what happens is they like leave you, go talk to somebody else, and then might close with somebody else. So what you need to do with that guy is you need to show him like, here's what exists on the market right now. Let me just save you the time and energy. This is why you need to work. So
that's smart. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So if you want to just, again, I don't know, like, yeah, like, so hopefully you're able to just kind of like skim through this and just like kind of get an idea of like how I'm saying.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Yeah, I think I've never had acquisition, right? That's always been my issue. So seeing a bunch of patterns and personalities, like I'm sure I'm gonna see more. Like, I'm starting to notice like there's leads in different time, like a timeline in their life, and they kind of respond to different things, or they're at whole different places, right? Some want to just start, and then some are already scaled, and then they just want a little more. And so it's like just trying to figure out where I can meet them where it makes most sense, but it does make sense to just like tie it back to them, like use them as like, how can I relate their exact issue to something that I've already solved. And then because there's different points I could focus on so many different parts of my funnel that I've solved for other people, but if I can relate it more to exactly where their bottleneck is, then yeah, I kind of see how I can pivot the language and cater to each lead. So
So like
no, it's blowing my mind. I feel like it's a lot, but
some people, like when I have conversations with them, and I kind of went over this and in my video where I talk about like my sales script, but like, somebody will come in and I'll say like, okay, what is the big bad villain? Like, what is the problem that you're trying to solve for that makes you Batman? I'm Robin. We got to fight this big bad villain here. What is that problem? A lot of times what people say is, oh, I just need more leads. I'd be like, huh, what else? Okay, what else? You're getting closer. You're getting closer. And ultimately what I want them to say is I want them to say, hey, look, I can't get people to pay me month after month because I can't retain them. And the reason I can't retain them is because I don't know how to actually get them results. I'm just creating video for them. And then that's it.
Mhm.
And I try to get them to see that. And if they do see, I go, bingo, aha, exactly. And then they're like, oh, and then I move in that direction if I can. If somebody is stuck on like, no, Krishi, dude, I just need leads. And if I feel like it would be too much resistance, then I just say, okay, leads. And then I'll just focus my sales conversation on just like, okay, here's how we're going to solve that problem for you. 100%, dude. Once we have this settled, everything else will be so much easier for you. This will be easier, that easier. This problem in your life will go away. So we're talking about the same thing. I'm just showing you another example of like a real life example of that is like listen
Yeah.
to them very intently and then sell them the thing that they want. Yeah. And then the last thing I'll say to you is just like your gut feeling of like, you're seeing so many different cases, 100%, bro. And eventually you're going to be able to put people into buckets, right? Like I have 3 buckets, the 9 to 5 are trying to go full time, the person with inconsistent revenue, and then the person that's getting a lot of jobs, but they're very like small. And so like they're doing $200, $300 jobs. So I've been able to bucket that up. And I know that my group of guys, I want them 3 to 7K per month. Right. And so just like that, you're going to figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
It just takes
For
reps.
sure. For sure. I'll probably have to start noting them as soon as I start seeing patterns.
Yeah.
But
Always do. The big thing is like journal and document like everything, bro. Journal and document.
for sure. I think the ROI calculator would be a good start, especially in the notes bucket. I can just kind of go over how the call went or something. But yeah, I just keep recording it and keep going back and listening. But no, that's pretty much it for me. I'm trying to think of anything else, but I think I just need to be more in the trenches and just, just learn as I do kind of thing, but and optimize where I can for sure.
It'll be 5 or 6 sales calls until you're warmed up and you're like, okay, I'm getting a hang of this. So it takes a few. In my experience, it takes about 26, 30 sales calls before you feel like, okay, I got this. So yeah. Anything else you got for us, Rivera?
No, I'll probably stick around for another 10 minutes and then I got to get ready for the call, but yeah, I'll stick around for a few.
Oh, cool. Keep us posted, man. Let us know how it goes.
Yeah, thank you.
Kyle, are you next? Yes.
I'm not sure, but I can go for sure here.
Yeah, I got you, man. Sounds like you gotta get going. So
Yeah, the kids are crying upstairs. I don't know how much you guys heard of that. My bad. I thought I was muted.
it was just like a quick, like 10 seconds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not bad. They seem to quiet down now, and I told her I'd probably be like 45 minutes, so she's cool with that. Unless an emergency happens, then I might have to bail. Yeah. So what did I say? I was talking to. Let me just see here what was my comment. Oh yeah, with Brody. So the cartooning guy. So basically, so Brody, that's his name. He does the cartooning, and I'm running ads for him now. And one of the things that came up was basically like I know that they were running like messenger style ads before, and I think I just figured out what they were doing. It was like an engagement form, and so what I had set up was something a little bit different. And anyway, so I had to change the message template, and essentially I got the customers to leave their phone number, and he had said that he normally just likes to message them and not call them. Whereas I thought, well, I think if you call them or whatever, you'll probably have a better closing rate. So I guess my question is like, should we be like encouraging our clients to get on the phone with them, close those deals, or what?
Yeah. So the real answer, the true answer, like an unarguable answer is step 1 is you got to do it yourself and figure it out. Step 2 is you give them the playbook. It's that simple. And so when you say like, hey, should I tell them to call? Should I tell them to text? Should I tell them whatever? You really don't know the answer. Like you cannot, like, if there's a gun pointed at your head and they said, hey, you got to get the right answer, Kyle. You're like, I don't know if they should actually call or text if my brains are going to be blown out, right? And so you really have to do it yourself. And I will tell you from my personal experience, for example, like the way you and I met, you know what I used to do? I used to, when somebody hopped in, I used to invite them to one of these coaching calls. I did another thing where I would call them. I did another thing where I would text them, and I did another thing where I would DM them from Instagram. So 4 different variations. And guess what? Like, people would naturally just tell you phone calls didn't work. Even texting people doesn't work. What I can find, my experience, for me, that works really well is messaging through Instagram. I think a part of it is just like the social proof and this and that I can leverage. So the reason I'm sharing that story with you is like, you really have to do it and do the reps to figure out what actually works. And so that's the actual honest answer, is like, it, like some people, like, honestly, like texting is better than calling. Like, it's actually easier to text and get people in. So that's the actual true answer, is like, you have to advise him based on what is best. And until you do it, you really don't know. Or until you do it with him and get him to do an Excel sheet and document everything, there's no way for you to actually know.
Okay, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And what I've done now too is I basically, like, I looked at what the other agency was doing before, and I've basically copied it exactly. I've changed a little bit of, like, I've added I went to manual placements instead of letting Facebook choose them. So that's like the only thing I changed. And then I basically split that ad spend up. So we're running like 4 ads, 2 of what they were doing and 2 of what I tried. So I guess, yeah, we'll just see what it is, and I'll tell him that too. So so that's cool. And then, yeah, and I guess that would apply then in the future too, like with like the jujitsu owners and stuff like that, right? Yeah,
exactly. Like, I like a lot of like what Jorge is doing is basing it off of like Jay, who is basing it off of his own experience or somebody else that he learned from. And so if so, that guy Jay and then Jorge. So unless Jorge had Jay and that guy had somebody, Jorge would have to figure it out himself. You know what I mean? So he kind of got the information from somebody else. And now what Jorge is doing is, now he's like, okay, I've got it. Now I'm iterating. So I'm not sure if you heard earlier in the conversation, I was talking about like how he's got his cousin like taking car details and they're trying to do things different than Jay. And so now he's like gotten enough reps. Now he's iterating. Now he's trying to make it even better. So that's why I always recommend is like, you got to do the reps, or somebody else has to do the reps, and then you model and then you iterate from there. So same thing applies. So in this particular case, like, I mean, obviously, like, you know, we'll share with you like what we've been able to figure out, and then you can, you know, hopefully that'll help you in building from there. But so far, I mean, it sounds like, Jorge, like, are you just, it's an ad. Why are you guys collecting card details if it's a free session?
All right. We're collecting it because I want like some skin in the game. Like, we're not charging them. I phrase it up like we're like a hotel reservation, where it's like they don't get charged. The only way they get charged is if they don't show up. So that way we're like confirming that they're actually going to show up, because there was a lot of no-shows.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna just note that.
So,
So
like,
skin in the
like
game. I like that.
So yeah, like, yeah, that I mean, that just goes to prove, like, you know, getting your feet wet, getting the trenches is where you'll learn the secret sauce, like these small little nuances.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for sharing that there, Jorge. Yeah, so I guess that kind of leads me to my next thing. So I'm at the stage now, like, I've got access to Control Jiu-Jitsu. That's the club that I go to. So I got access to their ad accounts now, their page, and I have an ad kind of ready to go. And it's just an image ad. Like, we didn't do a video yet. I figured we'd start with the image ad, and we kind of got our offer dialed in based on kind of what we talked about with like the basically our club offers like a free week of jiu-jitsu, and now we're throwing in that one-on-one training session. So when I told Donald about that, he's like, man, that's genius. He's like, yeah, get in for a one-on-one, and like, you know. And so anyway, we made that as the offer, and we haven't ran it yet, but I'm about to run it. Like, he just gave me his ad account permission today here. So what was I going to say? So I guess I could, like, based on maybe what I'm doing with him, we'll find out, you know, if it's working or not, and I guess go from there. So I guess I just got to run it and start getting some data.
So I will make you some specific suggestions on what I would do.
Okay.
And I'll just message these to you. Reminder to Kaushik. Then Kyle, specific suggestions in terms of where to start with service delivery. So I'll tell you like what I would specifically do. I don't know, I I don't know about a free long week just based off of what I have learned and what I've seen in the industry so far. The only reason I think I would do 1 week is like if you're trying to nurture people long and hard and try to get them to do something, like buy a high end thing and you just need more time. Right. Like me, for example, I push my calls out a week so people can study the course material, right? To give them extra time. In your particular case, like I feel like a week you might get somebody might get cold. In my experience, I don't know for sure. I think that could be the case. I think what you want to do is you want to kind of get them heavy, hot experience. I mean, somebody typically does a free class. They've never done jujitsu, right? I would assume so. So it's like they come in, it's like freaking going to Disney World, man. I would assume so. It's like going to Disney World, some really cool experience. So you want to capture them on this high. You want to engineer a crazy cool experience and then get them to invest into a high ticket thing. That's what I think I would do, as opposed to getting them here for a week and then maybe the dopamine something starts to dwindle off and then you try to sell a high ticket thing, maybe they don't go for it. It's a theory. So that's just like me thinking off the top of my head, but like I will tell you like what I would specifically do if I were you step by step based off of like what I've seen work.
That makes sense. Yeah. I was kind of wondering about that too. And I like what Jorge said, that like get the card details, like don't charge them anything, but like get ready to, so then it's like, it's harder because then it's like, after your free one-on-one session, maybe your free training session, we bill you for the next month or however we set that up. Maybe it's better to like you're saying, higher ticket, maybe get them in a 3-month commitment, which will be like $350 or something, or whatever the price is. Yeah, that makes sense. So
I personally, like, my gut is telling me, and I don't know if you were here last time, but my gut is telling me for jujitsu, it's like, it's restructuring the business. And this is not easy to do. Like, it's very difficult to do. Whoever can figure it out, like, it's going to be awesome. I think, if my theory is correct, which is like having one day to just do like one day, or having enough people on staff where you can just do a bunch of one-on-ones.
Mhm.
And so this person gets, the moment somebody becomes a lead, you have one person that's nurturing them, warming them up. And then the moment they hop in, they're with one person that greets them. And, maybe they even like send them a picture like, hey, here's where I am. Here's the clinic. What, if you like, that's what Gym Launch would do. They would literally send a photo with them and like super excited to have a conversation with you. This way, the person comes in, knows exactly who they're talking to, greets them, takes them through a crazy experience, awesome experience. And then at the end of it, maybe sells them a high ticket package, offers like a free, like an additional week or something else if they buy the high ticket package. That's what I think will work the best. And then in order to do that, the operations of the business has to potentially change to make something like that happen. That's my theory.
Yeah, I think you're right on that, because I was thinking that too. Like you almost need to have, if it's possible, to even come up with different tiers of the, like maybe not just like free training, but it also comes with some private sessions. Like that's your top tier package. You get a couple privates, plus you get unlimited access to the the training facility. So yeah, you're right. We might have to sit down and kind of figure that out, but that's cool. Like I think that's cool to figure out with Donald, and then maybe we can use that with these future clients that we're going to be advertising to, right? Yeah.
And the reason I say that is like that theory came from just seeing what was happening with Jorge, seeing the numbers, but then also like having a conversation. Did I tell you about like Daniel Rodarte and how we came to this conclusion, or did I not tell you about
I don't know. I'm not sure.
So Daniel Rodarte, he was doing Pilates. And so what he did is he found he went to some Facebook groups and said, hey, look, does anybody in here have experience running ads for Pilates? And so this lady came and said, hey, I actually have a Pilates student, had multiple, and I would run my own ads. So it's like, whoa, business owner and kind of sort of an agency, right? So you hopped on a call with her, and Daniel's here right now. He just hopped in. But Rodarte was explaining how she was saying that the best offer was not like a group free thing, but it was a one-on-one free thing. Like it was significantly high. It's like the conversion rate of like a group free thing was like 10%. And then the conversion rate off of a one-on-one was like freaking 40%. Major difference. So that's kind of what, where my mind was as well. But it's really good that you're going to be able to test it with, you said his name is Donald?
Donald, yeah.
That's really cool, man. It's really cool. We'll be able to test some stuff out and kind of learn on the fly there.
Yeah, and he's pumped that I'm like, because I'm not charging him anything, right? So he's pumped. He's like, I can't believe you're doing all this. He's just so happy that I'm there, right? So they're willing to try stuff, and he's basically all the things I've suggested. He's like, you know, he's on board, so he's easy to work with. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's awesome to
Yeah.
hear. Um,
So I'm just thinking now though, like what you said, maybe I should change, like if I just look at my ad quick here, I got it
Yeah.
open. How did I word it? So yeah, instead of the 1 week, maybe it's just like, are you saying the offer might be better as just a one-on-one session, not even like a free group training? Because typically, like I said, like they've been running the business model as you get a whole week free, and obviously, you know, it's not working out very good because like our adult classes is like our smallest class. I mean, they're doing really good with the kids, and even with kickboxing and Muay Thai, they don't really have any issues. But when it comes to jiu-jitsu adult classes, you know, after COVID, they really lost a lot of people. So they're trying to come back from that. So maybe it is just the free one-on-one session that I should focus on.
I mean, the free week, I mean, you have to also consider that's organic, right? It's not like something you're running to paid ads. So
That's true. Yeah, they haven't really done any like paid ads at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
The way I like to look at it is like, I mean, I'm just like, you can see my screen, yeah, Kyle?
Yeah.
It's like the way I like to look at it is like, you know, nurture, discovery call, sales call. You know, again, every funnel is a little bit different, but like the way I like to look is like, I just want to optimize at every single stage. I look at it specifically. So at the ad level, it's like, okay, doing a free day versus a free week, what's going to have the highest conversion rate? My guess is that it's going to be very similar. I don't think this is gonna be like 10% conversion rate and like 5%. I think it's gonna be like 10% and like 8% or even like 10 and 10. So it's like, does it make a difference doing 1 day versus 7 days? I don't think it's going to make a massive difference at the ad level. So then the question becomes, okay, at the nurture level, what makes the highest difference? Is 7 days bigger, better in terms of conversion, or is 1 day? And that's how I'm viewing it through.
Mhm.
So then again, I'm just giving you my theories of like, okay, 7 days, people are going to get cold, stuff is going to happen, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then they're going to be hard to sell versus a 1 day peak, amazing experience, one-on-one. I just feel like would be potentially a better conversion rate. That's how I like to view things through.
Mhm.
So it's just like one bottleneck after the next. How am I going to increase the conversion at every single one of these stages? And it's kind of have to look at it holistically as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So even
Yeah,
like
okay.
when I say holistically, what I mean by that, just to drill this even further, is like, let's say this represents 1 day, let's say this represents 7 days. And let's say that this conversion rate is like 40%, and then this is 10%. And then let's say we have the 7-day ad, and then we have the 1 day ad. And let's say the 7-day ad wins here, but here it substantially drops. So I'm going to go for this ad here. That's a 1 day, even though on the front end, it's maybe a little bit less because I know that's going to convert so much higher here. So I'm looking holistically at the numbers. So I'm looking funnel, like stage by stage, but also holistically. I know it's a lot of funky drawings there. I don't know what that.
No, that makes sense though. Okay. Okay. So okay, if you were in my shoes, then would you run the 2 variations of those ads and just see, or would you just stick with one for now?
What I would do, if you have the grace of just like testing stuff out, like, dude, you should just test stuff out, right? But what I would probably do if my budget was a little bit limited, I think what I would do is I would do a one-on-one, free one-on-one versus a free group class. And I would see if there's a difference, because I think that the 1 day is going to perform better than the 7 days when it comes to actually selling people.
Mhm. I think so too, actually, now that I think about it. So
I had one last story is I had this guy who would do a free class. And so he had, it was like tension fit training. And so he basically people would work out and they would use bands. Like his thing was just using band. And so he would get him in, then they would all train together, and they would, this person that came in, would use the bands. And then at the end of it, he would come to them, he would approach them. He would say, "Hey, how was your experience?" And da da da. They'd be like, "Oh my God, it was so great." It's like, "Great. So here's the deal. If you would like, I'm running a special right now where if you buy this band, I'll give you a month off the train, a month for free or something." And the reason this was so genius is this first of all goes to the principle of like, it's not 7 days, it's 1 day, right? He's getting them on that high. He's not waiting 7 days. He's getting them on that high. So again, this is the second example of that. And then 2, this doesn't really pertain to you as much, but it's like, if you buy the band, then you are in the training. So if somebody doesn't want, if somebody, you need the band to do the training, is what I'm saying. So
Mhm.
if somebody does not buy the band, then they're just like BSing and they're giving him kind of a smoke screen. That's what I'm trying to kind of explain. So anyways, I just thought like, I just wanted to share that little story with you. Not so much about the band part, but like the 1 day part that people are at a peak, and it's usually easier to sell them when they're at that peak.
Mhm. Well, it's kind of applicable because for at least if they're doing gi jujitsu, because we have gi and no gi, if they're purchasing a gi, maybe give them a deal on that gi, and then obviously they're going to sign up because they just paid all this money to buy this gi.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So I haven't even thought of that either. And they don't make much on the gis, but they make a little bit of money on the gis too. So
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Something you
cool.
can.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Well, I got some thinking to do there, but that's really helpful. I can get those. I'm gonna get those running by tomorrow. And just to give you a heads up too, because we talked about like the podcast interview style stuff. We were gonna film that Sunday, but apparently they had already done some kind of interview like that, and they have all this footage. So he's gonna give me access to some of that footage. It looks like I can kind of, I might be able to pick that apart a little bit.
Okay.
But you were saying to use that footage potentially for ads, but more for like agencies. Is that right?
What do you mean?
Like more for my position to like, I guess, sell myself as an agency, or could I use his interview stuff for his own ads?
Okay, I see what you're saying. So predominantly the use case of this is to get your calendar booked.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And so just really quick, what I'll say is this is Daniel literally just left, but I was sharing this with Jorge, which is that did you by any chance like see the ads, Daniels?
Daniels. I don't know if I saw Dan. I saw Amon's and Jorge's.
So
I did see these. I did see these when you posted this. Yeah.
perfect. So this is the winning one.
What would you say to dentists who tried different marketing agencies and maybe a little bit hesitant based on their experiences?
So this was the winner. And so he's still running all three of these, but like this is the one that won. And so I was explaining to Jorge, like, if you can, I don't know if it's, I would assume that you don't have this in the podcast that was already recorded, podcast/interview, but like, I feel like that's what makes this work so well. And again, the algorithm is pushing this one. This is where all the book calls are coming from, because literally you're leading with, hey, what would you say to somebody that's considering working in the agencies? So a dentist or a jiu-jitsu business owner right away is going to be like, oh yeah, I want to hear that. And right away, objections are killed, all these kinds of things. Like they're selling the heck out of you for you versus all these other ones.
So Dr. Lisa, can you introduce yourself to the,
Can you introduce yourself? I mean, a dentist, like they're surrounded by dentists all the time.
in terms of like, looking out after you, instead of just giving you leads, like, some resources we give you, like, how has that helped?
That took 7 seconds to get that. And it's a little bit much, I think.
What would you say to dentists who tried different marketing agencies and
3 seconds. Very concise, very quick point. No likes, no buts, no nothing. And you see them interacting. I think that makes a big difference. Like that opening makes a big difference, I think.
I agree. Yeah. I like how you even tell us to like cut out the spaces, make it quick, because people are like, they're scrolling, right? And they're like, what the hell is this? So make it, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. So sorry.
So what I was trying to get to Jorge, and what I want to press upon you and everybody else that's watching us right now, like I feel like everybody should be writing down that line. Like everybody should write down that. That should be one of the questions. You should frame it that way.
What was it again?
what would you say to dentists who tried different marketing agencies and maybe a little bit hesitant based on their experiences?
Such a good question.
Yeah. Okay.
Such a good question. Right away, you're killing so many objections, and she's selling the crap out of you for you. So again, I would everybody come in, have that line, watch this video, and this one's working like gangbusters. So that's ultimately what I want to kind of get across to you, Kyle, is like,
yeah. And so
you want to re-record it, you know what I mean? So if I'm you and you're going to use them as an example, yeah, go gangbusters, have some fun, like over the course of, week, 2 weeks, figuring some stuff. I'm sure within a week, you're going to start having some leads and people pouring in.
Yeah.
And then you could probably like create something similar to this with Donald.
Yeah, 100%. I talked to him about it already. And that's the plan. That's why I want to get these ads going really quick for him. So, but like, I still have to build that funnel out. So that's hopefully I get this funnel built, everything ready to go, and maybe early next week, maybe I could have an ad like that.
So you're saying launching your client acquisition funnel in a week's time?
I hope so. Yeah. Like I don't know. I do have a busy week. So I'm a little hesitant with that, but I'd like to. I really would.
If I were you, like I said, what I would do is this would not be because like we have proof of concept with Daniel, right? But we don't have proof of concept with jujitsu yet. With
Mhm.
jujitsu, we have proof of concept of that talking head video that you recorded. We know that that works.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like we know that works. Like the stuff that you already recorded, like dude, that stuff works. So
Mhm.
if you were to launch ads with that, like I'm sure you could probably get like a booking like by the end of this week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think Jorge's numbers are like $30 or something like that, $60 maybe. So if you were spending around that much, you know, this week, I'm sure you could probably get some traction. So what I'm trying to say is like, again, just for I know you're busy. What I would say is like, I personally, if you're of the mindset like, oh, I'm gonna wait till I have this, I wouldn't be of that mindset if I were you to try to get the ball rolling. I would just
Oh,
get
I got you. Yeah. No, I like what you said to me earlier. Like, get that rolling, get that ad running. I guess it's just the funnel, like setting up the funnel kind of, just because I haven't done it for a while. I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm not sure how long it's going to take me, but I'm sure I can just message you guys if I run into some issues there.
I think
But
MJ was setting something up right now, and Mike Mason's been helping him. So if you have issues, I don't know if we even do we have a template. Mason, do we add pages into the client acquisition funnel for that template, or do we have a template for that?
No, I don't. I was actually confused. So there's a template or a snapshot inside of the Trello,
Huh?
but I don't think people know how to load the snapshot in their sub account.
Yeah, I think that snapshot is Amon's. Now that I think about it, I think I put Amon's snapshot in there. So I think Kyle, if you go through a Trello, I think there's already a snapshot or funnel already built out. I think I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
So that might speed up the process for you.
a funnel built for what?
So the funnel that you're looking to build right now,
Yeah.
I think we have a snapshot for that. I
So
think.
basically, Kyle's just going to download the funnel for you.
Oh,
You just have to
wow.
make like subtle changes depending on like your niche and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right here. Yep, this is it. Step 9. Step 9. Boom. Click that
Niche
link.
funnel template.
Yeah, so this is, I'm pretty sure this one's Amon's funnel. So his calendar page, his thank you page, and then you just tweak, like put in your videos. Boom, good to go.
Okay. Well, I guess, yeah, I haven't seen that part yet. So I'll look into that. I didn't know that.
I'll send you a video, Kyle, that shows you how to load it into your sub.
Okay. Thanks, Mason. The A2P thing, that's not necessary in order to launch your ads, right? That's just kind of like, if we can get it going, great.
So yeah, for sure. Like if I were you, I would not wait on that to launch, right? Like, if I were you, I'll get your stuff launched, and then when somebody becomes a lead or whatever, you'll get notified within your Go High level. You get an email notification, and then just use your personal phone number to text them.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. No, it's exciting. I'm getting close to getting my ads rolling.
How are you feeling about stuff? I know you've been swamped with work as of late. How are you
Yeah.
feeling?
The only thing is just like extra work that these other commitments that I have is for whatever reason, it's like all landing on this month. And there's a couple jobs I just ended up taking because like I could use the money right now, but so that's the only stressful thing. And then I know I'm going to be anxiety ridden once I get my own ads rolling and I got to do the sales and everything. So, but I'm ready for it. So just got to do it.
When you say anxiety ridden, what do you mean by that? Like
I guess I just
What
remember
level?
how stressed out I was when we did it with the first funnel with the video ads. And the only reason was because so many leads kept coming in, and I was a little bit I wasn't sure what to expect, I guess, before that happened. And just because it's like I don't know if that was like 5 weeks ago that I did that. Now I gotta I think I have to familiarize myself with all that content again. Like, okay, how do you do the proper sales or set up the discovery call? Like, what's my script? And it's just new, right? So there's just a lot I don't know yet until I do it, I think. So that's the anxiety part.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I feel like for this next part, like, so first of all, I went over this with Rodarte, and I'll go over this with you right now. I think I went over this with him, which is like, before it was just like a whoosh of leads versus now it's gonna be way slower, man, because the cost per lead was like $5 or whatever it was for you.
Yeah.
Now we're having like like $60, right? It's like $50. It's like substantially higher. So
Okay,
you're not
yeah.
gonna be drowning with leads coming in. You
Mhm.
can if you spend more. So like I wouldn't be stressed about that. And then in terms of like figuring out exactly like what the conversation needs to look like it's kind of like going to be like muscle memory for you, I think, because of your experience in the past. And like there's not like some strict protocol, strict script. There's not some strict thing. Like you figure it out as you go. You're going to
Mhm.
figure it out as you go. So I want to kind of share that with you. It's like muscle memory. It's like kind of like playing a video game. You're like, I kind of sort of remember where these things are. So just so in case you're feeling anxiety or anything like that, I just wanted you to know that's what things are like. So
Yeah, no, yeah,
it's not,
okay.
yeah.
That
It
helps.
won't.
That does help. And it is like I forget that that this is a niche that I chose because I'm a little more passionate about it than with the other stuff. It was like I didn't even know what some of the businesses how they operated. Right, it was all kind of so. Yeah, you're right. This should be actually a lot easier than what that was.
I tell people all the time, like this is actually substantially easier. So you
Yeah.
have that stuff and like that's a lot of like I kind of feel like with the 6 figure, it's kind of like I'm helping people get calluses on their hands. You have soft hands. I'm kind of helping people like, okay, you're getting leads. Here's how to nurture them. Here's how to stay on top of it. Here's how to get the right behaviors. And then now it's like, okay, your hands, you have calluses, you know how to do this stuff. And now it's like you're more like that's really about volume. And this is like now about technique. This is about technique, having really good solid technique because you understand you're having a conversation with it's a lot of a deeper conversation, less volume. So yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's like you traumatized us, but now it's not so bad. Now we're like in the shallow end, not the deep end.
Yeah. So it's done by design. You do this, and then by the time you guys do this, I know that, and your case is a little bit different, Kyle, but like the reason I specifically do it this way is because then when you figure out the nurturing, you figure out how to think for yourself. Then when it comes to your clients, you're going to know how to set up ads and funnels for them. So that it's literally by design. In your particular case, because of your background, things a little bit different. But yeah, man, it's not going to be. I think you're going to find yourself a little bit surprised. I think pleasantly
Cool.
surprised once you get everything launched. So
That's a nice reminder because I was just like thinking back to the initial trauma, but yeah, you're right. It'll be easier. So that's cool. Anyway, that's all I got. There's lots for me to do, so I think I know what I need to do. So yeah.
Well, if you need anything else, Kyle, just let us know, okay? And again,
Okay.
I'll send you a message over probably later today, if not tomorrow, at the latest, of like some specific things I would recommend that you maybe some considerations for you in terms of like helping you speed up the process of getting results for download and other service delivery stuff.
That'd be awesome. Okay, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Yep, cool. All right, who do we got next? Camilo, are you here?
You had something come up.
Okay, cool. Oh, okay. So I think it's just is it Rodarte that we have next or MJ?
Either.
Or we had MJ first. Yeah. MJ, how's it going, man?
Going swell. Going
How-
good.
How's your week? Are you staying busy as usual or things a little bit calmed down?
Bit of both, which is weird to say, but like, yeah, like, some exciting, I guess things on my end in terms of just like rolling out some of the structures that I was doing with my team and whatnot as of next week. So that's happening, but it's been a bit of like a more tame week for me because I got to do a bunch of stuff during the week, so that was great. So I got to really rest. Although I was kind of ripping out my hair for the account snapshot like yesterday, like on Saturday. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? I kept trying to find it. I'm like, this is supposed to funnel into the templates or something, like what's happening. So that was weird. And when Mason showed the video, I was like, oh my god, that felt so easy. That felt stupidly easy.
Which is like, were you able to get it sorted with this? It looks like a 37-second video.
Oh yeah, like it basically nothing. It was basically nothing. So I just like, okay, so I managed to do while I was at work when he sent it. So now I'm just here. I'm literally just customizing the web page and getting my head start because I was supposed to at least get that done by today. So I'm just working on it right now, actually.
Perfect. Were there any questions that I could specifically answer for you, or are you kind of like in a place where you have questions for Mason, or just trying to chug along before you have more questions at this point?
Yeah, pretty much just chugging along for the most part. I do see a 404 on this page. I wonder if that's because there's supposed to be a video on here or something, but I haven't gone back to watch the video that you made for Aman yet. So I will do that to answer this question for myself.
Okay. You see a 404 on what exactly? On which page? Or
Sorry, I know I'm on my phone right now, but man. So I'm just like trying to change the stuff
Oh,
here,
yeah.
but I know this kind of has a 404 on it. Yeah, I don't know what that is yet. So
So,
It looks like his like VSO. Okay.
yeah.
okay.
So
Okay.
I'll if you I will click on, I will visit it right now. So this is what his looks like. So yeah, the visuals,
Yeah.
this there. I think, I don't know if it's maybe the background. This is pretty much it.
Oh, it's the calendar. Okay. It's the calendar that's doing that. Got it.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah, that's what I figured. All righty.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, anything else that's brewing in your head that you wanted to talk about today, MJ?
Not not at all. Not at all.
How are you
Just
feeling?
I'm
How are you?
feeling good. I am like Kyle when he mentioned that, but you already answered. Thinking about the Nevers breakdown for what this text is supposed to be. Because it's been chill, like muscle memory. I'm already asking myself, do I even still know how to do this? So, like, I'm like, is it all out of me yet? Like, it's been a while. It's been a really long time
Once
already.
you,
So
I don't know how to swim, but I've heard once you learn how to swim, you can't really forget. So
yeah, I
I,
know, right?
I,
Yeah. Yeah. There was
you'll
something that
be all
was
right.
ringing in my head this week that just passed actually is how do you train yourself to not go for the new shiny object syndrome? It's almost as if as soon as I got into this, like into this program, every ad after ad after ad that I've seen is agency, 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 and every one of them is something new, something new, something new. I think the most popular one that has been fed to me is the growth partner model by some dudes I've also seen as well. Like the new shiny object syndrome is real. Like how do you not think, oh, let me try that whatever.
So, I mean, we'll talk about it. I think it'd be an interesting conversation. What have you seen that, like, talk to me about something specific? Like, okay, I saw this, it was this ad, this is the messaging, this is why I think it would be great, why I don't think it would be great. We just talk about it.
Oh, it's not even like I've paid attention to jumping the ship or anything like that. It's just more of like it's just so much volume of every agency ad coming through, like just targeting me because like I got into with this one. And the one that was interesting was the I guess the growth partner model, which was I don't even know what it really is about, but whether partnering with a different agency or whatever they said, I didn't pay attention. I was just like, okay, this is new, right? So I really haven't paid attention to the messaging or anything. Just the fact that there's just been like an overflow of different, advertising for different people. Some people talking about like YouTube ads, for example. Stop using Facebook ads has been a thing. I've seen like maybe 2 or 3 of those. Trying to go with that angle for Facebook is outdated. YouTube ad is where it's supposed to be, and stuff like that. So, anyways, I can easily see. I know I'm saying this because I was watching was it Joe's YouTube videos, and one of the guys were saying like he got the new shiny object syndrome and he left his agency and then went to go do the thing. So all of a sudden, when I started seeing a whole bunch of the ads happening, I'm like, I can see how that's easy to like want to do something else because you think like the answer is a different thing, not the thing that you actually need to do. Like it's something else, right? So, anyways,
Yeah.
yeah.
And here's what I will say is, in my experience, I think at the very beginning stage, you have to just kind of, I will tell you what worked for me, maybe. And so for me, I was kind of very naive and I just had my head down and I just worked for like 7 months. And I got up and I was like, oh, this stuff actually works. That was my experience. So I just like worked and I tried and it just worked. So I think part of it is that. And so I think you're in that phase where like you just work. And then one day you'll look up and like, oh, it's actually working. The second, so that's one part of it. So like, that's one important thing is just like, try not to look at these kinds of things and just focus on just stay. Like, I think one person I said this was, what's his name? Parker Walbeck from Full Time Filmmaker. He says like a lot of people, they consume more than they produce. So produce more than you consume.
Yeah.
Produce 4 out of 5 and then 1 out of 5 consume. And be very careful of what you consume. You know, as silly as it sounds, it could be good to turn on ad blocker at this phase. Like I'm telling you what I did. I would literally wake up and this is where I gain all the weight. I would literally wake up sometimes 12 in the morning, sometimes 4, sometimes 5. Literally, I'm not joking. I would wake up, go get fast food, fill my stomach, and I would work until I got exhausted and I fell asleep, and I just did it over and over for 7 months. No joke. And so like when I say like turn on ad blocker and stuff, like that could be beneficial because that'll create the same thing. Second thing to understand is that a lot of times these guys are very good at they're very good at using words to bend the truth to allow you to believe that you need their thing. Right? I always say editing is a matter of bending the truth to tell the story that you want to tell. We all have the same clips, but it's how we edit it to tell the story. So a lot of times what they're doing is they're saying it. Like I remember there's this one guy, me and Mace were talking about this guy. He's talking with Grayson Lupus. And he talks a lot about like, you know, you're in your business, you try to sell something for 5K, 10K. What you need to do is stack reoccurring revenue. If you have a bunch of reoccurring revenue, like you never have to worry about cash flow again. And I was really thinking, I was like, it kind of makes sense. And I was like, why would I charge 10 people $100 a week when I can just get 7 of them to pay the entire amount? Like it just doesn't make sense. And so like you will become delusional. Like you will trick yourself. Honestly, you will trick yourself. But what I've come to learn for the second point, what I'm trying to explain to you is just like the more experience you have in business, right? When you have more experience in business, you can look through this stuff and be like, oh, that's bull crap. But the only way you can do it is through experience. You have enough experience, you're like, I see what he's saying, but logically does not make any sense. So logic comes with experience and trial and error. And then the third thing I'll give you, and this is the thing that I've been working with Aman with, and a lot of some of the guys with that have been here for a longer time. And what I do is I just tell them to do something that's very beneficial to me, which is like literally just timing myself in my days. Every day I would wake up, I would say, hey, I woke up at this time. Here's when I got to the gym. Here's when I got done with the gym. Here's when I started working. I literally, like, for example, even today, if I come into my phone, I did 1 hour and 36 minutes of work before I hopped on this call. Right? So every day, every single minute, I'm timing myself to see how much I'm working and every task. So I know, for example, like myself personally, I know that I need about 3 hours of me time every day. From waking up, going to the gym, coming home, feeling refreshed, stretching, whatever, before I start working. I've learned that about myself. So I don't know how people get away with 8-hour work days. I don't know how they have an 8-hour work day, sleep for 8 hours, then you have 8 hours to spend with your time, family, and all. I don't get it. When I need 3 times just for myself. Anyways, going off tangent here. But the point is, like, this third point I'm trying to make with you is like, when you really understand how much your time is worth, now you start to look at other situations and you go, oh, that doesn't make any sense. Like literally, I was watching a call for Aman. And so I'm studying this call. by this girl, and she does 30,000 a month, and she takes home about 20,000. I was calculating her dollar per hour, and initially you're like, wow, that's really good and that's amazing. And I was calculating her dollar per hour, and I realized it was $61 per hour, but probably more like 50. And it's like, it's not that it's bad. It's definitely good. It's definitely a blessing. But it's like when you are able to calculate your dollars per hour, calculate other people, it puts things into perspective for you. And you realize shiny object syndrome, like the most important thing as an entrepreneur is how many dollars you make per unit time. That's it. And so you start to realize, okay, this shiny object, is that really going to make me more dollars per unit time or not? It's very simple. That's the math you do. If their dollar per unit time is not greater than your dollar per unit time, that fundamentally is not what you should do. That's like the simplest thing. Maybe I should have led with that. That's the simplest thing you can do. You just calculate dollar per unit time. A little bit of a longer answer, but
No.
I don't know if that helps.
No, absolutely. I guess I was also wondering, like, would you happen to know if there really is anything drastically different between these people, like, running the same, basically the kind of like the same thing, right? Yeah, I figure.
All the shit works. It's just different ways of selling different shit.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
What I would say is this, MJ, is, and I had a conversation with Amin about this, and it's kind of a harder conversation, but it's like the number one thing you can do is like figure out how you can make more money in your sleep. Right. And so what that means is like, okay, instead of relying on every single time I have to hop on a sales call to make a sale, what if I get somebody on reoccurring revenue through using my software, using Go High Level? What if I become part of their payment processor? Like, that's how you have to think. How can I make money while I'm sleeping? And that's where going from a done for you to a done with you agency makes more sense. And so for you as a medical spa agency owner, like those are the kinds of change that you can make, moving from done for you to done with you. That's realistically all you can do. So all the stuff that you're hearing about growth partners and this stuff, like it's not really going to help you. It's not going to help you in your particular case.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah. Sorry to burst your bubble of shiny object syndrome.
I had none. I had none. I just got a little. Well, I guess I can't turn off ad blockers on my phone because that's really where it's all happening, right? every other Instagram ad or whatever, it's someone speaking to an agency owner. So I'm like, okay, yeah, here we go again.
Yep.
So,
Don't.
I'm okay. I'm good.
Cool. Anything else that's on your mind?
No, I'm okay. I'm good. Just gonna work my way through this right now.
Okay, cool. Well, if there's anything else, let us know.
For sure. Thank you.
Daniel, what's going on, man?
Hey, Coach Nick, how are you?
How are you, man?
Doing well, man. Doing well.
You got a big smile plastered on your face. It's a little bit of a difference from your conversation with Ali recently. Did something happen?
Oh, no. I'm just living life. My wife's due in like on the 20th, so it's getting closer and closer, and I'm waiting for that. So 10 days, 10 days from now. Today was her birthday, actually.
Oh, okay, cool.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so we went out to the beach. Just got back, a few minutes ago. But
Cool.
But yeah, man, I'm a little disappointed because I thought I'd be further along as far as my niche goes, but now that guy since Friday has been MIA. So that has me worried. He doesn't seem like to be a flake. But I'm just chalking it up as him being busy. But yeah, I reached out to him Friday on text message, just like hitting him up for I forget what I asked him, but he didn't get back to me. And then today I said, hey, just checking in. I'm hoping to present something. I'm hoping to show you something this week, and then hoping that gets his attention. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. We can talk more about that, but like, what else is going on? What else is brewing in your head?
Just I mean that's the main thing is like I'm choosing his industry because as a niche, so I'm like, okay, in a way it's like I don't know if it all rides on him or not, but I'm not gonna wait if he's like not ready for like a few weeks, and I'm not gonna sit around and do nothing. So I guess the question would be like, do I just continue in that niche and put out ads as far as like I don't know, like it's just I have nothing to show for that.
Yeah. So, going back, about a month when it was time to pick your niche and all that, and I'm going to kind of say the same thing, which is like the niche you go into is independent of who's in your life. It's independent of Ali, it's independent of him. It's just, what would you do if you had the choice to do it yourself and like no external factors? That's honestly the route that you should just go. And what I was simply saying the last time we spoke is just like, I feel like that's more in line with who you are versus Pilates. And I could be more successful with it. And so if your heart is saying like, dude, I think, me and Kushi talked about like whether this dude comes in my life or not, like I think I would be more at peace doing this. If you feel that way, like genuinely in your soul, then dude, move this route. Or if you want to take a moment to just be like, okay, what other niches are there? Like now is the time to do that. And then just pick one, and then we just go down that path, man. That's it.
Okay. I just feel like I feel anxious because like just time's burning, it's just like weeks now of doing really nothing as far as like getting like productive. In terms of like on the niche, I'm like, oh man, I'm just like, and then I'm allowing some time, like a couple of days off, like when the my daughter comes, I'm allowing like maybe like 2 days of just we'll be at the hospital for at least overnight, and then come home and like it'll take I'm sure a little bit to kind of get a routine going.
I always say to people, it's like, with whatever you're doing, there's always the output of the hard work, and then also just like who you're developing and becoming. So I don't think that, I know you feel like it's been wasted time, but like it hasn't been, because you've been like learning other things and focusing on other things. So you're still growing, you're still doing things. And I would also just say like, dude, like picking the right niche is like the difference of like hundreds of thousands of dollars, even 7 figures, just picking the right niche for yourself. So if you pick the wrong niche, like for example, Pilates, I don't believe that's the best thing for you. I think you just making the simple shift is just saying HVAC, you're going to be just so much further along. You probably save like a year of your life by just like not doing Pilates. So you really are moving further ahead by not doing the wrong thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So get too hard on yourself. Like if I'm you, like frame it a different way, and that'll help you.
I think a good way of framing it is being like directionally correct versus like absolutely correct. Right? Really the difference is being like absolutely correct is you just having all the knowledge from past experiences and you knowing the exact direction you want to go. But you have to be more of a firm believer of understanding that like being directionally correct is basically just being like, hey, this isn't the direction I want to go, but I know this is, a step in the right direction. I don't know if this is going to be a super long-term thing, but at the end of the day, it's like, I know this is the decision I want to make. And it moves me, it puts me in a better position to make a better decision so that you can be absolutely correct. But that's the way that I look at it. It's like, just make a decision based on what you think you should do and don't try to like analyze it and like sit there for 3 months trying to pick a niche. Because like, dude, that's what I did. Like, I wish I could get those 3 months back. I wish I would have just picked one, sat with it for 3 months, and then said, I don't like this niche. I can go pick another one. And the cool thing is that education is going to translate from niche to niche. So your time with Ali is time well fucking spent. Like, one, you figured out how to deal with a fucking nightmare client. Like, straight up, like, she's just an odd rarity, bro. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like that sucks what you went through. Me and Kushik were making jokes behind your back about it. Like, that's full honesty, right? But I'm glad you got through that, because at the end of the day, it's like when you find someone that's not like that, you're like, oh, like, this is the walk in the park, and you know how to set up automations, you know how to do all these different types of things now, and all that It's gonna translate over, so don't worry about it. You're not far behind, bro. Just pick a different fucking niche and hit it head on. Like you're good.
You're good, man.
Yeah,
Don't
thanks.
put down yourself at all. 100%.
Yeah, that helps. And then what Mason was just saying about like being like absolutely correct or like picking a direction. I think Jordan Peterson said I follow Jordan Peterson. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah.
But anyway, he sees something about that. It was just like, just not sitting by and being idle, but like just doing something. And then, that kind of like will point you in a different direction maybe. But like you got there from just
Exactly.
doing something.
Alex Hormozy didn't even know that he'd like business. And the cool thing is, like, if you know anything about him, when he was going into business, he was gonna do one of the three things. One, the gym. That's obviously what he did. Frozen yogurt, or he was gonna run like a tutoring place. Like he didn't even know he was gonna like business. He just said, "Oh, I like three of these things. I'm gonna start a business in it." Like that's what happened. That's how he
Mm.
launched off. Like that's a very true story, but that's exactly what happened.
So what's funny is like I've heard you guys mention Hormozy. Like I've never really knew who he was. Well, I didn't realize I knew who he was, but I've been getting his school game ads.
Yeah.
And then I've seen him for a while, and then I just realized like, oh, his name, that's Hormozy. Okay. But yeah. So I guess like I guess that's my question is waiting for this guy. Like if this week he
Do this. I'll give you some practical advice, right? So actually, I want to hear what you have to say. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, should I be prepared to like either launch or sell him this week? Meaning, okay, so then like, yeah, I guess I'm my worry is again, well, I mean I sold Alley, right? And I know what I was doing, and it's just another situation. Was like I don't know what I'm doing as far as like HVAC. I don't know how many leads I guess I'll just figure out the winning offer there for HVAC.
Yeah.
I mean HVAC owners.
Yeah. So yeah, market research to basically create your funnel. Yep.
Okay. Because the research I was doing was like to sell him. And I thought like it would have been an easier sell because like obviously like no like trust, like it's all there. But yeah, I guess he's busy, which is fair enough. But I thought I would start with him, and then okay, now I know what kind of like get good at servicing him, and then launch ads. But now it's just maybe just go without him.
Yeah. So one thing here's how I genuinely feel. Mason will tell you this. Like Mason, sometimes from time to time, he'd be like, "Hey man, like there's this guy who's interested. He's been DMing me about the program," or "Hey man, like somebody posted inside the Facebook group." And for me, it's like when that shit happens, I'm like, "Oh fuck, it's Christmas." Like that's how it is for me and Mason. I'm like, that's a surprise for me. It's like not something I count on. I'm like, okay, that's cool, man. Like it's like found $20 in my pocket. And so the reason I'm sharing this with you is like you should view it that way as well. Like that's how it should be in your mind as well. So in other words, if I'm you, build your niche client acquisition funnel. Don't worry about anything else. If he comes, he comes. Do your best. If he doesn't, it doesn't matter. It's not that serious. That mindset of like, I'm going to get him results and then I'm going to do this. No, it has to be the back way. It has to be the opposite way. You have to launch your funnel and then you're going to learn. Every single client, you're going to get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. You're probably never going to have another alley again because you're going to know this. You're going to know how to handle the situation. You're going to know how to handle yourself. You're probably not going to run into one of those again. So hopefully that makes sense. So if I'm you right now, top priority is, and this is what I was going to say earlier, why don't you go into the niche calculator again, put in HVAC, and then maybe put in 2 other niches that are maybe similar to that you're interested in, that you feel like would align with your personality. And then say to yourself, hey, look, by Tuesday, I'm going to make my decision. And then we start building it out Wednesday.
Okay.
That's what I would do if I were in your shoes, man.
Okay. And then one other like practical logistic question is would I just be marketing to locals, like people around me, or
You would do the entire, yeah, United States and Canada. You'd start there.
okay, so then I guess like the whole filming thing, how does that work? I just outsource it to somebody local there?
There's groups like Full Time Filmmaker that's got like 50, 60,000 filmmakers in there. You got Craigslist, you got all kinds of different things, man.
Okay.
On top of that, like, dude, like, for obviously, like, what is the creative even going to be? Like, you already showed me some of the creative. Some of the creators are like freaking with an iPhone, right? And stock
Yeah.
footage. Probably don't even need a videographer for that stuff.
Okay.
But worst case scenario, we have those groups, Full Time Filmmakers, and these other groups we can post in.
All right. Yeah, I got a little more clearer direction. So thank you.
Welcome. Anything else that's brewing in your head that you want to go over, Ben?
No, I mean, oh yeah. So let me see what these look like here. I still haven't uploaded my the numbers on that spreadsheet for Allie. So would it be for each? It would be for each client, then, right? Obviously, make a whole spreadsheet for each client, or are those my ads, or both?
Can you show me what you're talking about?
Sorry. Where like it breaks down your ads like all with every month.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you basically, like, those sheets, you should create them for every funnel that you have for everyone. So if you have like one
Okay.
funnel for Ali, she should have her own Excel sheet. If you have another funnel for Jane Doe, she should have her own Excel sheet. Everybody should have like one sheet so you can keep track of their numbers.
Okay.
And obviously, like, you customize it based off of the funnel type, right?
Yeah. So my question was, like, obviously we already knew the male's video isn't performing. We're at total ad spend is like $80, and we got 3 leads. So should I? And the female's photos is killing it. We're at $241, and we're at $336 a lead.
Nice.
So my question is, should I turn off the males and then add that to the ad spend budget to the female photos?
I mean, you're the one that turned it on, dude. Like, do you think that she would know, not know? Like, why'd you turn it on?
Just because she was like freaking, I like getting pissed.
So
And I was like, fuck it.
right.
Like, honestly,
it's not
like,
my money. Fuck it.
she was not listening to reason, dude. Like, her thing was like, if we spend $1,000 and we find one dude for the $15 class, like, great. That was her thinking. I was like, I don't get you, but whatever. She I think she hates money, and I think her husband's like very wealthy, and like they make a lot of money. So this is probably just a hobby to her.
I would rather try to sell the women than try to figure out how to get the husband involved. That would be my approach.
Yeah, actually, there's a few that were they're talking about they're bringing their husband. So
There you go. It's like,
yeah,
bring your husband to work day, except it's just a yoga.
yeah. And like I thought she would understand the numbers more, but she just doesn't care. And I'm almost like, I'll just be like, put your husband on the phone. Like, that's what I want to tell her. Like, how do I get this through your head? Like, let me explain this to your husband, and then maybe he can like explain to you, like pillow talk. I don't know.
Pillow talk. Okay. So, all right. So my question to you is this, like, if you were to turn off the ads, like, would she know? How would she know?
Well, if she can go in the ads manager.
What if you just title the female one males?
Or
I
you
guess,
take the
yeah.
budget and drop it to like $1 a day.
Like,
Yeah,
you could
that's true.
do either of those and she would have no clue.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Don't sweat it. Just do one of those two. She doesn't need to know.
But yeah, it's just like it's also
many-
like
Go
how
ahead.
many what?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say $7 a day, so $80 burned. And I'm thinking worst case scenario, like I'm gonna have to refund her this money. So that's $80 that I got to refund basically, if it comes down to that.
Mhm.
So that's where I'm thinking, and that's where the stress is coming.
So let me explain something to you real quick that I think is important for you and everybody. I've gone over this with a few people, and so I'll just go over this with them right now. And I think it's just an important thing to know. The purpose of the purpose of the guarantee is to get somebody over the finish line, and that is it. And so what I try to explain to people is like, and again, you think this is true, not true. Like my job is not to be politically correct. My job is to help you guys. So I'm just keeping it real with you guys. I'm just telling you, right? So use the guarantee to get people over the line. Hey, my guarantee is this. Does that sound fair? Would you like to do that? They say, yeah. The moment they are over the line, they have paid you, the guarantee goes away. You must make it go away. You must assume that you have hit your head, they have hit their head, amnesia, they forget completely about the guarantee.
Okay.
And like your language, like it goes back to that thing of like, hey, if you as a male don't see yourself as valuable, if you as a male don't feel like your time is worth valuable, when you go to try to pick up women or whatever, they're going to sense that all over you. They're going to sense that scent, and then nothing's going to happen, right? The same thing applies here. Is like if you don't believe something, well, then your clients are going to treat you a certain type of way. And so I know I'm saying a bunch of woo-woo stuff, so I'll give you more practical information right now. So what I like to do is the moment somebody hops in, again, my onboarding is done by design a specific type of way. It's on purpose to have mindset and get them feeling euphoric. It's on purpose to do some communication so that they understand they're going to be heard and understood. I go over milestones, really build them up. I really sell them on why they're here. Then I finally go into the expectation section, which is now I'm asking people for stuff. And what I say to people always is like, hey, look, it's my job to get you an 90-yard dash line. It's your job to close. In other words, I cannot be in your ear. I can't be in your ear. I can't close the deal for you. But what I can guarantee is I can guarantee you that the moment we spend the money, you're going to get the clicks. From the clicks, you're going to get the leads. From the leads, if you use a script, you're going to push them to a sales call. And then from there, again, it's on you to close. I cannot be in your earpiece. I cannot close for you. That is something you have to do. Is that fair? And then everybody's like, yeah, duh, that's common sense. And so right from the get-go, what I'm kind of doing is I'm kind of throwing the guarantee out the window. I'm basically saying, hey, look, your life is in your hands. I'm giving this responsibility to you. Do not put it on me. I'm giving it to you, right? So it's like a subconscious way of me getting people to be responsible for their own success. And then after that, like that's pretty much all I do. I also tell people like, hey, and then I tell people, hey, look, to get we don't do refunds. We've never had a refund. We never had anybody ask for a refund. But in order to get one, you have to basically prove our shit doesn't work. And I kind of make a joke about it. And so for you to get a refund, you have to prove that the funnel doesn't work. In other words, don't get any leads. Good luck doing that. LOL. Everybody laughs. So it's a psychological thing. I'm giving you like psychological warfare right now. And then the last thing is, when I work with people just know that like me and Mason really bust our balls. Like we really try for you guys. We try very hard with all the touch points and everything that we do. And so it is because of those reasons that nobody ever asks for a refund. Nobody ever asks for a guarantee. Nobody ever, regardless of what they do. They know that we're doing our best. We know that they're doing our best. And we put on the responsibility on them. So the guarantee, like nobody asks about the guarantee. Nobody ever talks about the guarantee because it's worth it. We position everything to be such a great experience that it is more than worth the 5,000. It's worth 10, 15,000. And that's what I'm trying to impress upon you. So don't think about the guarantee. Don't think about the refund. Don't think about that. What you want to do in your mind, here's what I told Aman. And this is the part that's like maybe going to be a little bit like, you have to really think about this. Imagine you're playing a game, and at the moment the contract is signed, the client pays the money, the contract is torn up, it doesn't exist, nobody has talked about it, you have amnesia. What does your client need to hear, and what does your client need to see you do on the sales call? And then once you start working together for them to never ask for a refund, that's what you need to ask yourself. Does that make sense? I know it's a lot of abstract, but like that's how you have to kind of view it moving forward. Again, use that for HVAC, but also like try that, it's a little bit late for Ali, but like that's how you need to be like, okay, what do I need to say on my sales calls? What do I need to say on my onboarding? What does my touch point need to be? How do I condition them in order to treat me the right way and treat themselves the right way and take on responsibility? And if you do that, then you will never have to worry about refunds and chargebacks and all that stuff ever again. And that's a very important skill to build.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, with her, I mean, it is what it is. But if, try to think about some of this stuff right now, like not right now, but like try to think of some of the stuff, maybe watch this part back and think to yourself, okay, what does the rest of the experience need to be so that she feels really good about everything, so that she never asked about the refund, so that the conversation never even gets there. What do I need to do? What do I need to say today, starting today, for the conversation never to get there?
Okay.
Versus like the mindset you have right now is like, if I don't deliver upon, I have to give a refund. I would not be thinking that way. It's not a healthy way for you to think. It's going to cause stress in you.
Got it.
Questions, comments, concerns, thoughts?
Yeah, so just more of moving forward towards the HVAC. So you're saying, can you remind me where I find the niche calculator?
I will send you a link.
Okay. There's like just so many, like, I don't know where to find it in the portal.
I got you.
Thank you. Got it. Thank you. And then one other thing was, so building out the niche, my niche funnel on Wednesday beginning, this is gonna be just like an image, right? Like it's not gonna be a video. I'm not filming myself yet. Am I correct?
You are.
I'm filming myself. Okay. I was misunderstood that. Okay. So
Yeah, the Trello board, I don't know how much or when the last time is that you really looked through it, but you know, where are you at? Yeah. When's the last time you looked at this, the Trello?
I think it was when you updated it, because you maybe a few weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago or so, you said, hey, there's a new one, and I had
Yeah.
access to the older one. And I thought,
I think this is this is pretty much create
I
one.
I thought I was saving the filming myself for when I actually have videos to show that work, right? Because I thought it was the script was something along the lines of like, this video here got so many leads, this video got this, like this is what works. So that's why I thought I was waiting until I had work to show.
Photoshop, screenshot something from Facebook Ads Library. Like literally, like the one that you showed me the other day, screenshot those, screen record those, and that goes into your ad.
So I can just go like get like stock footage, right?
Yeah, you can go to stock, but you just create it. It really doesn't matter.
Okay.
Nobody's gonna look like, oh, what does that creative look like? But nobody cares.
Got it. Okay. So then maybe I launch. Hoping maybe I can launch a week from today.
Yeah, I think if you start building everything on Wednesday, yeah, so we're gonna basically come in and write the scripts out and everything like that. So, I wouldn't, yeah, I think you probably do it by this time next week. By this time next week, you probably have your ads launched.
Oh, and then when should I expect that video from? You said you owed me a video.
Yeah.
This is my last week.
Yeah. So I'll send it to you this week.
Okay.
I'll send something to you.
All right. I just wasn't sure if it was in that. It'll be a link in the in that form. My milestone videos.
No, or yeah, I can put it in there. Usually I just message it people. I would
Okay.
just,
That's fine. Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to miss it.
yeah. What else you got for us?
That's it, man.
Cool. Mason, you got any wisdom you want to impart upon the guys today? Anything you wanted to share? You want to bust out some dance move? What do you want to do?
Dance moves for sure.
We're not taking votes, MJ. No, not that I can think of, other than I found I have this really cool objection handling stuff that I've been working with this guy named Tristan Stackler, Koshik.
Yes, share.
Huh?
Share away.
Say it again?
Share away. Share
Oh,
away.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I've been kind of learning inside his program. but I'd share that with along with you guys because um basically I don't know, I kind of struggled with handling objections. So I was like, fuck, like I want to increase my sales percentage and I want it to go up. So basically I just bought this guy's program that teaches a lot about like objection handling. And he breaks it down like super duper simple. So I'll probably create a document or something and I can just share it with you guys in terms of handling objections. But I mean, it's one of those things where like I just put it on like a Google Doc and then I just wrote down the script of it of kind of what to say when someone says it. So like for example, if someone says like I need to think about it, basically it's just like a couple sentences you say back to them, it just gets the real objection. Things along the lines of that. I've been able to memorize and it really helps a lot. Like I was on a sales call before this, and literally like right after we pitched the price, she was like, "Yeah, I need to think about it." And like literally within like 30 seconds after that, she told me what the real issue was. So that's the cool part of doing it. It's
After
just a
you-
way of, huh?
After you use the line, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So there's a couple ways of doing it, but basically breaks it down into like I need to think about it, partner, spouse, money, logistics, and even something called a firm, which is a buy now, pay later system, Cushy, that links up with Stripe. And we've been using that to sign people on to get more pay in fulls, which is really nice. But basically it's a soft credit pull. Doesn't hurt your credit. And it's basically the same thing as a credit card, except the APR is like 15% and not like 20 to 25%, which is pretty typical for your credit cards. And then it usually breaks down their payments into like 6 months, 12 months, or 3 years. So it makes it a lot more manageable into smaller chunks on their end, which is really nice. And it only takes like 2 minutes to implement on Stripe, and then like a minute or two to run through on the sales call with them to get the paid in full.
Nice. How high can you charge from the firm?
Um, I think it depends, but I mean we can charge. I mean we usually charge like 2 to 3K, so it works out perfectly fine in that range. We haven't charged anything more than that, but I'm sure you can because people that use it, like I've seen someone charge 6K with it,
Nice. Okay.
so
Well, that
you
should
could definitely charge way up there with it.
That's like enough. And if anybody ever has like an objection, like, hey, we can get you the funds and then let us get you results. And if
Yeah,
for some reason, you don't get results, we'll cover the fee for you. I don't know, that's probably terrible, but like you can pull crazy cool shit if you have available, like you can get somebody funding like really fast.
yeah. The
That's
way like
really
the way
awesome
that
to hear.
we are kind of positioning it is it's kind of like if you want to move forward with the program today, like you have two separate prices, right? It's kind of like your whatever price and your like move forward today price, like a fast action price. So it's like the price of the program's 3K, but we have a fast action discount. So it's only $2,400 if you pay in full. Then if they're like, oh, like I want to do a pay in full, but I don't have the money, it's like I can lock in that fast action bonus, but I can also put you on a payment plan if that's something that you'd be willing to do. Like, yeah, I
I
can do that.
personally, I'm sure he goes over that with you a lot. I personally just don't like those. I personally like the whole, hey, it's 3 months long and here's what it is for 3 months. Or if you want to pay in advance, it's 20% off, which is $1,250 off, which brings the total down to just a one-time payment of $5,000. That has just been way higher of a conversion rate. And if people pay a percentage, they want to pay off the remaining balance within 30 days if you position it the right way. Versus the way that you guys do it is like, I don't know, like people feel like you're trying to make some money and you're trying to do it
Mhm.
fast, and I don't know. What would you say like is different about what you're learning from him versus like Cole Gordon or somebody else? Like what is there like a fundamental principle behind like what he does, or like
Yeah,
is there something that like
I
what
think it's like I think Cole's stuff is great, but I think his stuff is very fucking complex.
okay.
I just feel like learning at the level that he's teaching is just hard for people that are like new to sales.
You know what I'm
Like
saying?
his lines are really, it's like a fucking paragraph to explain some shit, and you're like, nah, dude, I just want to do it in like 3 sentences.
Yeah. It's just more along the lines of like he has like a lot of ifs, then me like this and this and this. And, like Tristan's like, yo, memorize this shit. It'll take you like a week, but as soon as you have it, like you're gonna be golden.
How long have you been using this stuff?
For like a week or two. But like we're getting
Does it work?
past
Like, you
objections,
feel like
like
it's working.
yeah, like we're getting past objections pretty quick.
Nice. That's really good. That's awesome, man. I'm excited to check it out.
Yeah, I'll share a document with you like right now.
MJ, we didn't get the dance, but it's okay. I think this is better.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Maybe next time. Maybe next time.
Shit, yeah. Should I send it as a PDF to you? Okay.
Whatever. It's
Just so
up
you
to
can take a look
whatever
at
you
it.
feel like would be. Um, guys, is there anything else that anybody else want to chop it up about? Mace, anything else that's brewing your mind that you want to chop it up about? I feel like today was the last one, man. I don't know what it is. Just feel like it
Dude,
was fast.
I mean, this is more of a me thing. So so I had the weirdest call today. So we're trying to sell this lady this program, and we have them fill out like a couple different questions before they like get on the call. And one of the questions, I don't know exactly how it's framed, but it's more along the lines of like, oh, basically it's getting them to like say I'm not like a decision maker, right? We're getting them to clarify like, do they make decisions, do they not make decisions? And the lady today, we looked at the form before we jumped on the call, and it was like, no, like I am the sole decision maker, right? So I'm like, okay. And then when we were handling objections, it was like, oh, I need to think about it. And then it's like, boom, we got past that. And then it was like about the partner. And then it was like, boom, we kind of got past that. Like we didn't get past that part, but we got past part the money, we got past part the think about it. And then she was like, oh, my partner. But like I didn't know, like so I didn't look at the form Lauren did before the call. And on the form it
So
said
she
like,
meant-
no, I am the sole decision maker, this and that. And she was like, oh, I needed to go talk to my husband, blah blah. So we ended up trying to go for a deposit, and she was like, no, no, like I want to talk to my husband about it. And I was like, all right, yeah, it's fine, whatever. So she's getting back to us tomorrow, but I was just like, how the fuck, like, how do I get rid of that? It's like I have it on the sheets, like, oh no, I'm the decision maker, blah 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 blah. And then now she's saying, oh, I got to go check with my husband. I'm like, bruh.
Yeah. So I hate that.
Me too. That's why I'm like, what the like how do I like I'm trying to prevent it before the call, but it seems like I just keep running in that same issue over and over and over again.
So I'm like ruthless in how I do it. And what I
And it's
do,
like another thing I just want to say as well is like, sure, dude, like I would love for like, a husband-wife duo to jump on the call, but it's like they're not gonna
You
book
gotta-
the call if we make that mandatory. So it's like, how do we get around that?
you just gotta kill it before it occurs,
Okay, like how?
right? So I go over all of this stuff. I go over on the Loom video that I sent people before they hop on the sales call. So if they hop on the sales call, basically that's like that's analogous to somebody doing the application stuff that you guys do. My Loom video is that, which is the Loom video you used to send back in the day. Then they hop on here and I ask them at the very beginning, I'm like, okay, before I run through all this shit with you, can I ask you some qualifying questions? They say, yeah. So I ask them the main ones, right? Do you make a decision on your own? Can you allocate to you? Can you start now? Do you have business? Right. Fine. Like all the main objections, right? Then we go through the whole thing. So again, I did it before. I did it at the very beginning of this. And then before, I go through discovery. And then I said, before I get to the whole song and dance, which is my presentation, I'm like, okay, hey, just give me hell yeah, hell no. Is that cool? They say, yeah. So I've done 3 tie downs, but this tie down is a little bit different. Then when they say, okay, let's talk about pricing, this is the thing I've done, which again, it makes me just want to fucking choke somebody. So I added this one thing to it. Now they can't fuck it up. Here's what I do. So I come all the way down and I say, okay, you ready for the price? Okay. So before the price continues, here's what happens next. All right. So we're gonna go over pricing. You're gonna be hell yeah, hell no. Then we're gonna do a transaction. I show them a sales page. Then you're gonna have a welcome call with our coach. And then from there, we're gonna do an onboarding with you and then onboarding. They say, cool. Then I go, okay. Now, before I get into pricing, this is gonna be painful. So I just want to confirm. Do you remember when I asked you if you have $1,500 in savings? What am I doing right now? What am I doing? Is
You're
there
handling.
anything that you would exactly literally right before where it's fresh on their mind? So what you're talking about, something that's on the application, and they're idiots, and you're not like following up with them to be like, hey, do you remember that one thing that you said? Because it just fucking feels awkward. So I'm making it very fresh in their mind right here, so they can't say shit. So as soon as they say yeah to everything, when I say this, can they say anything? They can't say shit. That's the secret sauce. Does that make sense?
No, it does. I just
So I'm
wish
literally
I,
saying,
yeah, I just wish I read the fucking sheet so I would have like, I would have called her out on it too.
you can't call people out on it. That's the point. That's what I'm trying to explain. You can't call people out because that makes, I don't know what the fuck he teaches, but I don't call people out. I don't make people, I don't back people into a corner. I back people up into a corner where I don't look like a bad guy. When you point people out, that's like analogous to like gaslighting somebody. I
Right,
don't think that's
but but she filled out the form and said like,
on the
yes,
form. Does she say that she makes the decision on her own, or does she say she doesn't
yes.
make the decision?
She
says,
says that she is the sole decision maker for that.
yeah. And so just like that, I say to people, hey, if you're not making $1,500, don't show up to sales call. I say here, hey, so you're telling me you have $1,500? Yeah. I get to the end of the sales call. It's like, hey, so you ready to make the investment? Well, my bank account, blah, 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 blah. I'm telling you, I have the same situation as you. The frustration that you are feeling, I feel it all the time. What I'm telling you is that there's nothing you can do about it. No fucking objection. Here's what I'm trying to explain to you. This Tristan motherfucker seems like a cool dude, but that's not like the silver bullet is to, and I always say this, the silver bullet is to not need to go there. Don't need to go. Kill
No,
the
he
cancer
doesn't.
before it occurs.
Yeah. Yeah, he says that too. He's just saying like this is the best way to handle it. The best way to really handle it was just getting a deposit type of thing because you can't really prevent it once it's already happened. But I guess I'm just like he doesn't teach anything along the lines of that. But I guess I was just like frustrated because I'm like
That will happen.
back in it now and I'm like, bro, you fucking said that you're the decision maker. Like, and now you're saying, oh, I need help. Like, bruh.
So, okay. So now that they say that, what is the true issue then? Pop quiz. Like, what is the true issue?
The probably uncertainty, but I don't think it is.
It has to be.
It's not. That's
Okay.
the frustrating part. It's not.
What is it then?
It's fucking money. That's what it is.
So my definition of a money objection is like, I don't actually like, I almost throw that out of my vocabulary. Like, it's just like, okay, do you have the money to get started? And it's like either they have the money in their bank account and they're not willing to pay, or they don't have the money. So it's like there's three things. They have the money in their bank account, they're not willing to pay. Uncertainty, doubt. That's not a money objection. That's literally uncertainty, doubt in my book. So that's most like what it is for her. If she has money in her bank account and she has unwillingness to give it to you, that's uncertainty, doubt. Does she have a good enough credit score where she can get the funds and pay you and she doesn't? That's uncertainty, doubt. That is not financial. Both of these, people say they're financial or not. If I can fucking get money from you without fucking going to jail, you have an uncertainty, doubt objection. So if she has the money, she can get the money through finances. The only that's actually a financial objection is she doesn't have enough money in her bank account or she has shitty credit score where she literally can't give you. That is the only thing I consider a financial objection. These two I consider uncertainty, doubt.
Yeah. I don't think I really think it's either money or partner, but I'm really leaning into partner. But I didn't think that was going to be an issue because she said, oh, like I'm the sole decision maker. That's just the only issue because I just know from the questions I was asking, it wasn't an uncertainty thing.
But does that make sense to you? So like,
no, yeah, it does. Absolutely. Yeah.
Now is like, so it's like, it's not finances. You just said right now it's finance. It cannot be finance if she can get the funds and if you can get her the funds. So that finance is out.
I think you know what, it was it's definitely a partner spouse objection too, because I'm remembering now like how she was talking about money. Like how she was talking about it. She never said she didn't have it. She never said anything along the lines of that. She was just more along like asking. She was basically just saying like, oh, like before I spend $3,000, I gotta go talk to my husband because that's a lot of money. So I don't think of the fact by saying like, oh, it's a lot of money. It's just a fact of
And then what about trying to get the deposit? Did you get the deposit?
didn't get the deposit. That's why I was like, what the fuck?
It's uncertainty doubt, bro. I'm sorry. It hits. It
I
hurts
gotta
the
send you the call because I think you would be like confused too.
uncertainty doubt for sure. If people, if here's the other way.
Because she was like, I absolutely 100%. She literally said that. She was like, I 100% believe that this program will work for me.
I don't care.
That's what I should have told her. I don't care.
No, I'm telling you, I don't give a fuck.
No, I know.
I'm telling you, I don't give a fuck what
But
she
it's
said.
like, but why are we all lying now? It's like, oh, I don't
Yeah.
have a partner now. I need a partner. Oh, I believe it's gonna work now. Maybe it's not gonna work. Like,
I was explaining this to Camila the other day. And I feel like this is like, if you just fucking think about it this way, it makes things make so much sense. I am standing here. I have a Lamborghini to my right. It's 250,000. I'm not going to go the way that you think I'm going to go the same. And
I know I'm already yeah. Go ahead.
standing here. I got a Lamborghini here. It's 250,000 MSRP. I have to let it go because I am filing for bankruptcy. The mafia is after me, whatever. I need to come up with the money. I'm letting it go 50 grand.
Right.
I'm not just selling to you. I'm selling to you and I'm selling to a group of 50 people around you. So it's not
Mhm.
just you, it's 50 people around you. The moment I say that, what are you going to do? One, if you have any type of uncertainty, doubt, you're going to think to yourself, okay, this is not a real car. He stole it. I'm going to fucking get, the IRS is going to come after me. The fucking cops are going to come after me. That's uncertainty, doubt. So I have to remove all those objections. If I have removed all those objections, is there a partner spouse? Like, no, if your partner's right there with you, like you two are going to go fucking run and get the money. So I always say to people like, okay, imagine the person you're having a conversation with is that person in the crowd. You have to get them to feel that way when you just made that pitch. And if they truly feel that way, then you will not get uncertainty doubt objection. You won't get a financial, you will not get any kind of objection. I don't know if that makes any sense at all.
No, it does. I'm just trying to figure out like
If she truly believed, Mason, if she truly believed like a motherfucker, you're selling some shit that is that valuable that she's gonna get $200,000 in equity overnight. She's gonna be the first motherfucker running and getting that money to you.
or at least putting a fucking deposit down.
At least putting a
Bare minimum.
deposit down. Why? Okay, think about, yeah, exactly. Sure, her husband's not there with her, right? Her husband's not there. Her husband's fucking Vietnam on a fucking war, right? And she's gonna get 200,000 equity. Like she's gonna fucking go out there, get the fucking money, and then tell the husband, be like, yo, I'm sorry, bro. Right? So that's uncertainty doubt. If you think about it from that perspective, like it's a really aggressive example, but that's the best way to know if somebody's telling the truth or not. That situation right there.
Yeah, because I only asked. I was like, I literally said this. I was like, can I challenge you for your family and your future to put $100 down? I was like, bro, I literally said that. And she
You
was
sound
like,
like a politician.
bro, I was like, she was trying to sell her shit. I was like, dude, like, I was like, listen, that's completely fine. I don't want you to violate your husband or disrespect him in any way. But what I want to do is I want to challenge you. And then I said, I want you to put $100 down, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, no, can't do that. Don't want to deal with it. You gotta do my talk to my. She's like, I gotta talk to my husband. I don't know exactly what she said, but I was like, I literally almost like paused. I like paused and I almost was like, what's coming up for you that tells you that you can't even spend $100? Like what? Like, do you think we're a fucking scam? Like, what is this? Because that was like literally right after she was like, oh, I 100% believe that this program is going to help. Like she said that. She was like, I 100% believe that this, like I was watching her body language. I was watching everything.
People are crazy, bro.
Nah, dude.
People are
Fucking
silly.
women, bro. They're the best fakers on the planet.
That's true too. That's true too.
All women are actors. Some are just good enough to get fucking paid for it, apparently.
There you go.
I need to get myself a Jorge robe. Maybe they'll say yes more.
Well, if let me know if it was a partner spouse, then I should probably hear something from you within the week that you guys closed her.
Well, tomorrow by 11:45. I made her fucking tell me when she's getting back to me.
Offers off the table. She didn't get back to you at that time, huh?
That's what I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna call her up
So I was counting.
Next Monday, you guys all better show up on the Zoom call. It's gonna start off at 6 o'clock. Be calling this bitch out.
Like, so I was counting on you for you and your family to put $100. I count on you right now to fulfill that promise. As the
I
time
was like,
count, there are
believe it
60
or not,
seconds
I
left.
need your $100 for me and my family so we can eat. No, there was a time actually when it's mad funny, Cushy. There was a time on a call where I know we weren't gonna close this person because they didn't have the money. Like we just knew. Like it was just very obvious. You know what I'm saying? And we kind of did one of those things where we just like pitch the program anyway, just to kind of see what they would say. And she was like, wow, that's a lot of money. And I just go, yeah, well, at least you know the program's gonna work because you're not gonna have the money to pay for groceries to eat. She started laughing. It was so fucking funny.
Yeah, we make sure.
We make sure that we literally liquidate your whole account so that you can't eat, so you will lose weight. That's our guarantee to you.
That's a good way to put it. You remember
She
that one?
didn't take it after that.
No, she just laughed. She couldn't pay for it. I think actually, you know what though? I think she actually ended up signing for like a $250 like little nutrition thing, which was funny. But I mean, I guess it's a close, but it's not really like what we were asking for.
This last lady, I'll be honest with everybody here, dude. Okay, I'm gonna sound like an asshole, dude. I fucking hate selling to women, bro.
It's hard, bro. It's easy and it's hard at the same time. It's like you can tell like 3 minutes into a conversation, like if you're gonna sell her or not.
Because they have no shame.
No
Like
shame.
men, like here's the thing with men. I'm like, yo, asshole, this is what we talked about. You down or not? And then the dude doesn't want to be a bitch. He doesn't want to be an asshole. So he's
They
gonna
have integrity. They have like
Integrity.
they're the man of their word.
She's just gonna be like, I fucking feel like a fucking fairy tale butterfly. So like everything I said to you is not true anymore. Sorry, man.
Dude,
I'm
it's
like,
like a fake reality, bro. No, I know what you're saying.
you can't say it
like-
because you're the biggest asshole.
No, I can't see it because I'm logical and not emotional.
Oh my god.
Like, bro, you literally just said this. How are we now backtracking here?
I have never
Sounds
so
like a relationship, man.
it is. So here's the thing, and this is not me dogging on anyone, but I'm telling you, like, it's just to go back to the story. The hell yeah, hell no thing I do. You know how many times I've heard a no, I cannot give you an answer? Once.
Probably none.
Once. No, once. Once. There's one person I had a conversation with, and I said, hey, can you give me a hell yeah, hell no? And everybody says, yeah, bro, I got you. I'll give you a hell yeah, I'll give you a hell no. No
Same
problem.
thing here. Same thing.
One person that has ever said, no, I cannot give you a hell yeah, hell no. Guess what their gender was?
Female.
Yeah. It was Drew's wife.
Yeah.
Non-binary.
Yes. Even non-binaries will freaking give you an answer. It's just the females, man. So anyways, MJ, good luck to you, by the way. You're selling to mostly women, so good luck to you.
Yeah.
Oh god, thank you. Hopefully my good looks and charm would, sway them over.
That's another way. That's another reason, Rodarte, I wouldn't recommend it for you because you're very much like a dude's dude.
Yeah.
Or you would sledgehammer walls, bro. I promise. You would be so pissed all the time.
Yeah, Daniel, you wouldn't like to do what I'm doing, dude.
Oh, what are you doing?
It's like women's weight loss, bro.
Oh fuck.
It's like they say all these like it's so weird. Like some women like they'll jump on the calls and they'll be like easily like 60 pounds overweight and they're like, yeah, I eat chicken and rice every day. And I'm like, you fucking don't. Like I gotta sit there and like it's like, okay, or you eat 17 pounds of it. Like, bro, there's no in between. Like, don't say you eat healthy when you eat 3,000 calories. And I'm sitting there, I'm just like, oh, like, yeah, that sounds so healthy. What do you think the problem is? And they're like, well, sometimes there's cupcakes here and there. And I'm like, yeah, there we fucking go. Like, there it is. You know what I mean? So it's like, you got to dig with it a little bit because they're like, oh, I need help. I need help. And then when you ask them, like, what do you need help with? They're like, oh, I'm doing really well. And I'm like, what does it make? How does it make you feel when you eat the cupcakes? And they're like, oh, I'm not confident. And then like that's where it all fucking pours out. And I'm like, okay, so on a
Yeah.
scale of 1 to 10, your nutrition's really at a 4, not a
Mm.
fucking 8.
Yeah. You gotta play the
Yeah.
emotional game with them. Always. Always.
Hey, I have a question. To kind of, if you want, don't mind me changing topics. My last 22 opt-ins,
Mhm.
7 like auto replied stop like immediately. So I'm wondering if that's something I should be concerned of. Is that just numbers?
They're all
For the
females.
text?
Yeah, like they replied stop
Oh,
like
yeah.
immediately.
I just call them.
Yeah.
Or you can change that first message or something. But
Are you
once they
asking?
if
are
they
you-
reply stop, by the way, Daniel, that doesn't mean you can't call them.
Well, Koshik was telling me to like get rid of them.
No. Koshik's a liar. Don't listen to him.
Well, yeah, that's what I thought. Was like, okay, maybe I'll just like either call. I don't know the
Call,
rules
yeah.
as far as
So,
like the
They're saying so they're specifically saying stop to like the message, like the text messages.
okay,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But
it's like
I
yeah.
call them either way.
Okay,
But yeah, that's basically it.
but it's just like a third of the last 22. I'm like, okay, this is something.
Out of how many though? Like out of how many are we talking?
Out of the last 22,
No, just like how many have you had in general? Like 50?
how many opt-ins?
Yeah.
I'm over 50, I think.
Okay, and just in general, like if you had a ballpark, how many are saying stop?
Probably like 9, maybe 10.
Yeah, no, you're good.
You can call them, like Mason said. Again, I would not text them. The reason for that is because what I would do is I would either, again, Mason's suggestion, you don't delete them. Either what you don't want to do is you don't want to mess them and get in trouble. So however you do that, whether you delete them or you put them somewhere, you tag them where they're not going to get messaged, do something, be safe. And I'll tell you this because my account was on the verge of getting shut down many times. So that's where that's coming from. So
Okay.
whatever, don't message them because you can get in trouble. Can you call them? Like Mason said, yeah, you can.
Well, doesn't high level put them on do not disturb? So even if you text them, they doesn't go through, or no?
That I don't know. That's a Mason question, maybe.
It says DND enabled by customer.
DNDs do not just So you can send text messages, but it's saying like, yo, they said don't do it. And then if you do it, you'll get in trouble if they report you.
Okay.
So I wouldn't do it, but I would call them anyway. If they end up like booking through or whatever, you can
Call them from the SMS number, A2P number.
call them from anything. Just call them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not gonna matter.
All right, fellas. Anything else anybody wants to go over? So
Real quick on like the interviews and all the podcasts and stuff that I'm doing, like, I guess content wise, am I putting that on YouTube as well? Like the full episode, like, is that worth the squeeze? It's like putting that content out there.
I think it is for sure. Because I think people are going to search, people are going to find you like that. That's what, in my experience and from everything I've heard, like those are the pieces of content that get the least amount of views, but they get the highest conversion in terms of booking. The thing that you're going to have to do is, again, if I were you, I would study somebody like the IRCO, study them to see what they're doing. You don't just want to put it on there. You need to make sure that your opening is crafted the right way so that people know, hey, you have something to sell. Yeah. And then the middle needs to be crafted like, hey, call to action at them. Hey, guys, like you ever seen like it's an edit and then people pull the camera, it's like, hey, and then you can see that they're editing it live. Hey, just really quick, or cut between, like you just need to have your own thing so that you're driving traffic to the link in the bio.
So I get that. And as I was watching the video, I'm like, I didn't structure it in that way where it was able to basically like create like a little trailer for it. You think I should just create a whole new one, or just basically have that little like, hey, what's up, guys? This is like part of a program that we do or something like that.
So like, have you ever seen like the videos from like Ryan Pineda and those guys, or no?
Yeah.
So it's like they're interviewing somebody and then after the interview, like Ryan Pineda is just like facing you, and it's like something that obviously was shot like on another day. That's what I mean. Does that
Mm.
make sense?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's all you have to do. Just like there's a shot of you sitting down with a quick like 10-15 second pitch.
Gotcha. So almost like a commercial, like a trailer in the beginning, like commercial in the middle of it, and then
Trailer at the very beginning, like Dire CBO. I feel I don't know if that's going to be very practical for you to do because you're not getting a bunch of like emotional stuff with Diary. Do you know what I'm talking about when I said the trailer?
yeah, that's why I'm like thinking like it. There's nothing that's like really like it's not gonna hit like that. You know, it's like they're just talking to have a conversation.
Yeah, so here's what I would do is I would think about the very beginning and see what you can do to make the intro strong. If you can make something where like they're saying stuff, which I don't think you can because of how you're doing them, and maybe this will give you ideas to do what to do in the future. Maybe there's a talking head part where you're just talking to the camera and saying, "Hey, are you a jiu-jitsu business owner struggling between this and this is your specific problem? If so, I recently did an interview with Jay and Josh, who run this clinic out there, who ran with this exact same issue, and they were able to solve the problem. And so what I did when I came to find this is I interviewed them to ask them exactly how to solve this problem. So within the next 10 minutes, you're going to have this problem solved that you've been desperately looking for a solution for the last 3 years. See how I'm using that kind of a hook at the very beginning of the YouTube video. Then you get into the YouTube video, and then somewhere about a quarter way, midway through, you have some kind of an offer, which the camera, hey, if you're enjoying this so far, just want you to know if you're just a business owner, if you want to get results just like our clients, just implore you to click the link below, schedule a call with myself directly or somebody from my team, whatever. And then now right back to the podcast. Boom. Something like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then towards the tail end of the video, another secret sauce is like, if you're going to usually have a call to action at the very beginning and the middle, and towards the tail end, you usually don't need to have a call to action. Usually a call to action is going to be, okay, so hopefully you got value from this one. If you did, make sure you click here. This is a video on XYZ. And what that does, it increases your watch time. And that's what gets people. Yeah, it gets in watch time, and then it gets Facebook or YouTube to push you out. And here's a secret sauce: is the link that you have, the box. There's a way to make it where when they click on it, it's not just one video; it's an entire playlist of all your videos.
Very cool.
So, again, you'll learn more and more, and as time progresses, but like definitely, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. And then obviously, you have to have the link that you're going to drive traffic to, which is going to be like the page that we already built. And eventually, like if you build out a better page, we'll drive traffic there.
Okay. And then would it be worth to kind of create like Loom style videos of me going over like some certain systems and processes that we do? Like, for example, like I have a mural map of the follow-up system that we use. I just joined the scaling school. It was like $1 trial. It's actually pretty nice.
This guy is great material.
Yeah. Since you mentioned it, I can't stop watching his content. It's pretty fire.
This one right here, watch this one.
I just finished and
So what he does is he breaks down the specific types of YouTube content that works the best for them. Like this guy is to a point where he doesn't even really rely on Facebook ads anymore. He pretty much just like does YouTube. And like what you're asking is literally like one of the things that gets him the best like results. And
yeah, that's what I was asking, because I've been watching these videos and I'm like, that's what they're doing. A bunch of other creators are doing the same thing, like same strategy.
Yeah, even like these videos, like I know it's only got like 100 some views, but I've got multiple sales that come from these stupid ass videos. Yeah, so these videos, like the educational stuff, like works very, very well. It's just about having a good hook. So you'll notice with these videos, he always has like a very scripted hook, and the rest of it is just kind of like talking. So the hook is where it's important.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a good video. And then I'll send you another one. She's probably got the best video I've ever seen when it comes to hooks.
This is how to make it.
This video right here. It's probably the best video ever on hooks.
Yo,
So,
send that to me.
Got you.
Oh yeah, I know that guy.
So you would suggest that like it is worth the squeeze of like starting to create some content on YouTube and like kind of
if I could go back in time, that's literally like the next move I'm making is YouTube. Like I'm just like I'm doing what I'm doing for the next few months, and then for like an entire quarter, I'm just gonna be doing YouTube.
I was
to
gonna
crack it.
ask you, like, why aren't you like? I feel like you'd be huge on YouTube, like with all the shit that you got to share.
It's just I have my reasons, but it's like if we consider like who I sell to videographers, and what I'm doing is I'm like pivoting their mind from like videography to like agency. I don't know anybody else that does what I do, by the way. I'm not trying to toot my own, like I literally don't know anyone. I don't know anyone that like you go to school to become a doctor and then somebody tells you like, no, you become a lawyer. That's literally what I'm doing, if you really think about it. And
Yeah.
so I can't, if I create content on YouTube, like I would have to I can't create content on videography. I would have to create content on being an agency owner.
It'd be like Joel Kaplan shit.
I would create Joel Kaplan type of material. I can't really create videography stuff because nothing
Yeah.
like actually videography.
Plus another thing too is like a lot of people like imagine posting like shit that's not like super high end, like highly edited, blah blah blah, and you're trying to like sell to videographers. You're like, oh, your stuff's not highly edited. Like,
Yeah.
it's like now Koshik has to put in, like, he can't see that video right there. Like, go back. You know the strategy.
This one, yeah.
No, not that.
Oh.
Like you were just, it was a different tab.
Yeah, this video down here.
Yeah, okay. So what I'm saying is like imagine posting that on YouTube. Like that video right there, dude, it's like it's worth so much money, but like imagine trying to get a videographer to sit through that.
Yeah, you need like
Like they're
people-
not gonna do it, bro. But like that
No.
video right there, that like it's worth so much. It's like, dude, if you just do what it says in that video, you're gonna be successful. But then you're trying to sell it to videographers that are like, oh my god, like why isn't this highly edited? Like you don't know anything about videography. It's like at the end of the day, I'm trying to make you not a videographer anyway, you fucking dickweed. So like it's just not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So like for him, it's just like time consuming shit, just not to get the results that he's looking for. So basically what he's doing is he's trying to produce high-end content for videographers to then switch them out of videography, which doesn't make sense. So he's attracting the wrong people anyway.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like we've all asked, like I've even asked him, like, bro, you got to get on YouTube, and he's like, nah, bro, I got my reasons, but they're good reasons. So
I guess like this, Mason, we got to figure some of this shit out. Like I get, like I don't even know.
bro, go into, dude. You want to know what you got to do?
Huh.
You need to create a school community, bro.
What does this have to do with school?
Dude, because that's where you're gonna go live.
But like these people can see me live, same shit. What's the difference?
Yeah, but they're gonna want more shit
Why would they want more shit instead of these people want more shit?
because it's a community of free shit for people. It's more than just the live calls.
Wait, quick question that I just this reminded me of it. For the people who like my ads, how do you guys like DM them and kind of, if they're like they like the ad but they didn't engage with it, they didn't go through the page or nothing, is that worth going after them?
So here's what I would do. Here's what I do. I was like literally like I will, and this we've had many sales come from just this, like literally just notifications, boom. I come in, somebody likes my shit or whatever, come there. This is probably as a fake account. And what I'll do is I'll just go in there and I'll just like their shit. That's it. And then what I will notice is like a day later or sometime they'll just buy my shit. Now, in your particular case, I would do the same thing. I would like it. But in terms of like what the messaging needs to be, I'm not sure what the messaging needs. I've never actually figured that out.
Mhm.
I've never been able to I've never put, to be frank, I haven't put the time and energy into figuring that kind of stuff out.
What messaging?
It's like, so what he's explaining is like, if somebody likes your ad,
Oh, yeah. Okay. I know what you're saying.
yeah, all I do is I just every once in a while we'll run through and it'll just like everybody's shit. That's it. But you should like shoot them a message. And I mean, Mason, like this is the kind of stuff you do with Lauren, isn't it? Like what kind of stuff do you guys do? What's your framework of like when somebody likes her shit?
We don't we have so much volume right now. We don't really focus on like
liking and shit. But we kind of just pick up the huh?
What I'm saying is like, you know what Lauren used to do? She used to create content, people liked it or commented, left it, whatever, and then she would reach out to them and then start a conversation and then sell them. So like, was there a framework that she had, or do you know what the framework is, or do you have a framework like that?
She never really did it.
Okay.
She never really did like that's what she was doing, and she didn't like she literally had like I think one client when she met me. That was online. And that online client came from in person that that was someone from her local area but then moved.
Okay.
So, I mean, we have an appointment center, but we have like so much volume going on that like we don't really pay attention to that. But I can hit up Emily and I can kind of ask and see what she does because she's not running ads right now. And she's still booking calls.
So I'll just kind of put that in there, or as a reminder.
Yeah, because I'm wondering, like, they like the shit anyways. Like, why would they like it and not be somewhat interested in it?
There's ways, I just don't know what it is. I don't know the best way, but I know for sure, like you should, 100% you should, 100%.
I think she says just something simple as like, hey, I saw that you liked my content. I think she was like, hey, thanks for liking my content. Are you currently on a fitness journey? So I think something is like, hey, thanks for liking my video. Are you a jujitsu owner? Question mark.
So just like engaging with them and then just asking them like conversation.
Yeah. So then you say like, are you a jujitsu owner? Like that's what I would say. I'd be like, hey, thanks for liking my content. Are you jujitsu owner? Question mark.
Here's what I know, and again, this is just coming to me. I could be missing a step here, but hey, how's it going? Are you a jiu-jitsu owner? They say yeah. And then what you want to do is you want to find the gap where they are, where they want to be. So how do you create the gap? Got it. How are things going? And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get them to tell you it's going good, but like I need help with this. Not even help. They're not going to tell you that, but they're gonna be like, I'm trying to do like, oh, it's
I
going.
asked the goal. I don't know if that helps, but I know what you're saying, Koshi.
You need to
But
create the
I-
gap between where they're at, where they want to be. So it's like, okay, how's that going? Oh, it's going good. Got it. Are you trying to grow right now? Or are you kind of like staying, like trying to like maintain things in your business right now? We're trying to grow. Gotcha. Where are you guys trying to grow to? Like, what's kind of the, again, I'm not the best at this. Where are you trying to grow to? They say this number. Okay. What's stopping you right now, man? They say that, oh, got it, dude. Yeah, man, for sure. Like we had that issue a lot. And you know, what we can't find was like, just increase your traffic through ads. Got it. And then from there, now you have the gap. It's like, oh, would you mind if I like share some stuff with you, get them interested? And then it's like, hey, then you want to hop on a call. Again, I'm not the best at this, but like that's what I'm pretty sure that they do. Small little conversation, and then you're just trying to figure out the gap. Once you have created the gap, then you can go and you can push for a call. But you got to create the gap. The main thing is like you got to create the gap you have to create a gap between where they are versus where they want to be.
So like figure out that gap and figure out why, like what spoke to them about the post.
Not necessarily the post.
Not even that. No.
No. So step
just-
one step one is just break the ice. Like, yo, thank you for the like, bro. Are you a something? Hey, thanks for the post. Are you a jiu-jitsu business owner? They say yeah. Step two. So that's step one, just breaking the ice, get them to reach out, say something to you, right? Step two is now you need to create a gap. Where are they? Where they want to be. So I'm at 5K per month, solo videographer. I'm trying to get to 20K. Create that gap. So there's a desire like, fuck, I'm in pain. Then you try to like tell them you kind of sort of have a solution. Then the next step is then you push for a call.
Gotcha.
So here's somebody, here, I'll give you another thing. This is all not coming from me. This is coming from this Grayson kid.
Yes.
So it's coming from him. And so if you go into his funnel, if you opt into stuff, he'll give you like his exact framework.
I'll give you mine, Jorge. I got something for you.
Oh, for sure. Thanks.
Yeah.
And it's
But it's
basically just
yeah,
off of DMs, like people who engage with your content.
Say that again.
It's off of people who engage with your content.
Yeah, basically it's the same thing. So it's for people. The only thing that kind of switches is the introduction. So like you'll have some people follow, you have some people that comment, you have some people that like, you have some people that share, whatever.
Yeah.
And basically, like the only thing that really gets changed is the introduction a little bit, and then after that, it's just kind of like a 5-6 message framework to the call that gets booked. But you'll see the pattern. Basically, it's just kind of like fill in the blank type of thing, but you'll kind of find your own method of doing it.
Okay.
Any other questions, guys? Okay, cool. In that case, I mean, if anybody wants to stick around, stick around. I'm gonna talk to Aman, see what's going on with him. Obviously, we've just kind of been shooting this shit for like the last 34 minutes, being misogynistic men. Aman, you missed it, bro. We were like super red pill here, bro. We were
Yeah, dude, Amon, you
Wait.
missed it. Dude, we were talking shit.
God damn.
Yeah, you actually literally everyone let their anger out today. It was great.
Oh, that's good. All back clients or just
No, clients, sales call. I was just talking about Rodarte, he was talking about his alley client, and I was talking about the sales call that I had with a female today that was just fucking ridiculous.
yeah.
It was like I think she was just confused. I don't know. Like I don't know.
It's the
Like,
word.
she had like every objection in the book, and I like solved all of them. And then she was like, I don't really know what to do from here. And I was like, you could pay me. Like
Yeah.
that, like you could do like that works. But
I assume you didn't get that one.
yeah, well, I'm talking to her tomorrow at 11:45, but I'm sure I'll get a
Man.
text saying like, oh, we can't do it or whatever. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well.
She came in, she didn't want to.
yeah,
Which is
I have no idea. All right, gentlemen, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to the studio. Amon, if you need anything, obviously hit me up.
cool.
MJ, Jorge, Kyle, I don't know if you're still here, but I'll see you
Go
guys.
bust
See ya.
Okay.
those moves, bro. Go bust those moves. Go give me one of these. Hey, let's go.
All right, boys. I'll talk to you.
Yeah, so Kyle, Jorge, MJ, you guys want to stick around, hang out? You guys can by all means. Aman, what's going on, man?
What's up?
Long time no talk, long time no see.
Oh, I know. I was gonna leave a voice note, just giving you an update on some things, and then I was like, let me see if they're still here. And luckily you were. So I had like a birthday dinner, like someone else's birthday dinner at like 5. I'm like, God damn, this shit needs to hurry up. So finally got it. But yeah, just wanted to give a update aside from like the stuff we were talking about on Slack. I talked to my bosses today and made my decision and shit. So yeah, very excited because I'll be going in get to fully go in on this thing for, at least some period of time and, just kill it. Yeah, thank you. And basically it'll probably be like a month before I'm fully out, but basically like the past few months or past like month or so, I'd say like past like 2 months, like we've been really going in on like Mother's Day, Father's Day, and I just been working so much that I've been just doing what I can to maintain my business, but I feel like I haven't really pushed it too much. So I'm hoping now that it's slowed down, even with this next month, even while I'm still here, I can like kind of start pushing my business a little bit more and then slowly transition. But it's looking like a month right now, and then mostly just gonna try to help systemize my stuff and like create my SOPs, and then from there we'll like probably slowly transition. I'll probably be training whoever they bring on, and then kind of transition off. So yeah,
Good, nice, congratulations.
thank you.
It's official now.
Finally, I feel
How
like
did you feel like you've been? What were you gonna say? I was curious. What?
Oh yeah, I feel like it's just been like one foot in, one kind of thing for so long that I think it's just gonna be good just to give it my all.
Yeah, I think so too, man.
Yeah.
What I was gonna ask you was just like, what was that conversation like with him? Or who was it actually even with? And what was that conversation like? Was it pretty chill? Did they try to keep you around? Did they try to make other offers? Anything like, did it play out a little bit different? Were you anxious and nervous going into it, or just anything?
Yeah, I surprisingly I wasn't too anxious. I was just like, yeah, this is just my decision. I went into it and basically when I just explained it to them, they're like, okay, cool. Like, well, basically we just kind of want to figure out with you like a game plan in terms of like, what you need and like, what they need and stuff. So it's actually very smooth. And then afterwards, he like texted me. He's like, "Hey man, like really proud of you. Like I've seen a lot of growth in the past 2 years, and I'm fully confident in your ability to do this." He's like, "Obviously, I hate to see you go, but as a friend, like I'm excited for you." So yeah,
Good. So it sounds like pretty chill. And that's
yeah,
exactly how you explain those guys. So that doesn't surprise
yeah,
me.
yeah,
Cool. That's good, man. I'm glad to hear that. Like everything is like amicable and good and all that stuff.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Definitely like one of the better cases for sure. So.
But I guess like I think I kind of like had a gut feeling, but like that this was gonna be your decision. But like I guess like what did it ultimately come to help you make that decision? Or is there anything that you feel like you want to share with me? And also I'm asking for me, but I'm also asking for like people like MJ who, is still at his 9 to 5 and may one day kind of be at
Right.
crossroads like you.
I don't know. I think when I just think about like I don't know, I know like I want to be, I don't know how to explain it. I just like ultimately when I think of like the strongest version of myself or like the best version of myself, I know that I felt when I went into this job that this was just gonna be a stepping stone, right? And I like for a while, I've been kind of playing with this whole agency thing since 2020, and I always felt like that was like kind of what I was working towards. So it's kind of like, yeah, kind of like like I've been kind of like having my like I've been kind of testing the waters for like since 2020, and it's like, might as well just kind of see what happens if I go all in. And I also think like a few other things, like one, do I want the fate of my future to be, someone else's hands when I do have something like this that I can like, this kind of like I have that mentor, I have, a game plan, I have a strategy. So like, it's gonna fully rely on me, to execute rather than like other people like who kind of like, you know, like I don't have to depend on them as much. Um and then just like I think the skills I'm gonna get from this is gonna carry a lot further than, even if I do have to get a job, it's like I'm sure I can get a lot higher pay somewhere after if this doesn't work out because of the skills I'll get. So there's quite a few, but I think just naturally this just feels like the next stepping. Like this feels like if I want to get to the next stage, it can't be like an easy decision. If that makes sense. So
Last part that you just said makes sense. Like you're at a place where it has to be a hard decision, or else if it's not a hard decision, you're not really growing. It should be a hard decision. That actually makes a lot of sense.
yeah. It felt weird because it like everything at the job felt right to stay and like what they were offering, but it felt like the too easy of a decision. So it's kind of weird, but I could tell you get it.
100%. It's too easy. It's so easy that something is off.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. And I think I was thinking about this for you as well. Just like, and you already said it, and I think maybe this is like the first on your mind, but for me, it's like, I was thinking, I was like, there's no security there.
There isn't, yeah. They could say we're gonna hit these projections. Even when I got on the call, they were like, "Yeah, we didn't hit the projections for Father's Day that we thought." I'm like, "Yeah."
Never know. Like, I mean, it's like two entrepreneurs, two guys, and like, how many times have we seen somebody hit like $1 million or hit 10 million or whatever, and then they're like fucking bankrupt or some bad shit happens? How many
Right,
times?
right. And like, they say they want to get to 100 million, but when I see like the 100 million, like I'm like, we're not like I see Hormozy, I see like, Tanner, and I could tell the way the mind work. I'm like I just, again, these guys are very bright and I think they're gonna go really far by shooting that high. But I just don't know if it's gonna be 100 million. Like again, maybe it is, but um it's just like I could just tell like just the way they are 100 million. I'm like, that's so far. Like I don't think it's gonna be this like, you know.
What revenue did they hit like last year?
Last year was a bad year, I think. Like I think they're hitting like 2 to 5 mil. They're a lot like they were the red for the most part, but this year I think we're projected like 10 mil.
So 2 to 5 million was revenue, but like, what of that do you think is like net profit to the business owners, the 3 business owners, like after
I feel
expenses?
like the business owners were like losing money essentially. Yeah, and then this is the first time that they were actually like profitable again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How many years have they been doing this?
maybe like 5 to 7 years.
Yes.
I think so, yeah. I want to
So
say they're doing this for a while. I was here for like 2 years. So maybe it was like 5 years, maybe.
that they've been doing this thing with like these products.
Yeah.
How, if they were like losing money, how did they survive? Like, how did they like live? Like, how did they cover their expenses?
I don't know. I think they're like one of them was close to like losing the house and like I don't know, they seem very like chill though. Like they never seem like that stressed. I don't know if they're just like trust fund babies or something, you know, like but I mean, yeah, like they were yeah, I think it was losing money for a while and
I mean,
yeah, I don't remember how they made it work, but
you have a business that does that much revenue though, like you can, I'm sure they have business line credits and stuff like that, and they have things that they can like pull money from. You know what I mean? Like, so you can technically lose money, but like it's kind of like living on a credit card, if that makes sense. Like somebody can live on a credit card, drive a nice car, have rent, everything, but like you're pretty much like in the red, like thousands of dollars a month, and you can go that way for like a year, 2 years if you have enough. You know, if you have
right.
enough
I think that
credit.
was kind of what was happening.
Yeah, I would.
But
That's not. Yeah, it's not something I could. I could like.
oh,
It's.
they like 3 warehouses because they do the manufacturing themselves, and they had like one warehouse they were paying for that was like they were just like losing like 30K a month. They were losing like 60K a month in like payroll, like just so much overhead that they had to cut out. And like, I was just like, yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know.
And there's like so many people on just the manufacturing side where it's just like I think that one's doing really well. I think that's another 10 million on that side. So like they have like their few businesses that seem to be, working together and that they're doing well now. But yeah, they had like they're like, oh yeah, when we actually looked into finances, like, we're spending this much on like rent at the warehouse, so we decided to get rid of this, and then we had this much on payroll. And yeah, it was crazy. I was like, I don't know how you guys just casually lived with lived with this because I personally I fold.
He's like, personally, I fold. Personally, I fold.
I wouldn't last.
Dude, I'm the same way. No shame in that. That's too much.
Got family, kids, like it's just crazy.
Okay, well, aside from that, bro, like what else? I sent you some stuff.
Yeah. Checked out the Loom.
Did that
Which
help
was
at all?
great.
Or-
Yeah, yeah. It like I think I kind of had that in mind. Like I was doing that for like the ads, but I think actually just seeing it for like just a breakdown, like add to this like overall strategy. I like some of the things that you said in there that kind of stuck, such as like how you like named it, like the other method and those sort of things. So I'm kind of doing that with like the individual, like the ads, like this is how we make our ads, like this is what other agencies are doing. So I've been practicing that more. I kind of naturally started doing that, and then I realized that was like an actual thing. I was like, oh, cool. So, but yeah, I think that tomorrow's call may go pretty well. He seemed like a pretty chill guy. He seemed very seasoned, but well, he says seasoned marketer, but
How do you, so there are a few things I want to talk to you about, but like what else is brewing in your mind that you wanted to maybe review or go over?
um yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just figuring out the whole numbers in terms of service delivery, like how do we turn leads into like profit on the back end. Um, I mean, that's kind of like one of the biggest things. And then another thing is like once I leave, like how can I like I feel like 1 month when my ads weren't working that well, it was kind of like, okay, we'll duplicate it, we'll see how it goes for 3 days, and then we'll test one thing and then we'll test it for 3 days. Like, is there any way I can like if it's like the highest leverage thing, is there any way where in the mornings I'm working on like ad stuff where I can make new creatives or I can test like new things constantly and like, like kind of like I guess like because I can't control how many sales calls I get or how many like demo calls or sorry how many like leads I get. But like I'm trying to think about like if every morning what would be the highest leverage thing that I can work on every single day if that's like a thing. Because like if I'm like applying for like a job, it's like okay, I can at least control how many job applications I do. So I'm just kind of trying to think about like what quantity sort of thing can I focus on when I like leave work. As long as I just do crazy numbers, it's like I'm inevitably gonna be fine.
You know, it's interesting. As I was watching Selena's video with Tanner, I think I messaged you. I was like, dude, she is like literally you. And it's like where she is in the business is like where I naturally actually saw you moving towards. So I'm like, oh, this is really cool. I get to see
Yeah.
where Amma was gonna end up.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you noticed that, like it's like the same funnel, same everything. And so right now you're in a place where it's interesting because she and him talked about something that me and you talked about a few months ago, which is like we were talking about like the different plays. And I was like, okay, you need to have like one solid play, which is what Tanner told her, right? But then she was
Yeah.
like, they're all so different. And then I was like, well, if you do, the Botox play and this play and then that play and that play, you're gonna have the 6, 7 different plays like already built out. So every single client that comes in, you just do one of the whichever play applies them. So I remember having that
Right.
conversation with you, and
Yeah.
it seems like he had that conversation with her.
Yeah.
Um,
And there's a
and
conversation at the end too that we had. I
what's
forgot
that?
what it was. There was a conversation at the end of the video too that we had. It was like to a T what we had. But I can't remember what it was. But I was like, damn, bro.
So I'm excited to get through it and like be like, oh, okay, this is me and I'm on the same page in terms of
Yeah.
like what they're
I
doing.
saw
And
her ads too. Like I saw her funnel. I actually took screenshots of like the questions and stuff. I think I showed it in the loom, maybe. Okay, I did.
so when I look at her stuff and just Tanner's commentary and like seeing you guys do the same thing, seeing Aaron do the same thing, seeing her do the same, it's like I'm so like my mind is like at ease in terms of like booking sales calls and sales calls. Like I feel
Right.
good with the evidence with her, with you, with just every it's like I think confidently you're gonna get book call for like 30 to $50. I don't think it's gonna be an issue.
Right.
It's literally like pacing the room, and I was thinking about this earlier today with you, with Jorge, with Daniel, everybody. The number one issue, bro, that I'm looking at with everybody, you know what it is? It's service delivery.
Service delivery, yeah.
That's it. That's the number one problem I see with everybody, which is like one, not making your clients enough profit, and then two, not systematizing things enough that it can be copy and paste. If people can
Right.
figure that out, then everything else is just like spend more money on ads. Like his thing to her was like just spend more money on ads.
Right.
That's all it was, like get this off your plate, spend more money. I'm like, the same thing is with you. The thing with you though is like in terms of highest level, I feel like if you have service delivery dialed in, then you can do all those higher level activities. Like, so for me, for example, I was going to message you about this in terms of time and everything. I have had something on my plate for like months and I just haven't done it. You know what it is? It's like literally re-record my intro videos. And it's a huge thing. It's not just re-recording it. I'm losing a lot of money because I notice people will not watch the intro video all the way. And so therefore they will not click on the go high level links and then not download that. So now instead of my intro being one video, it's gonna be like 4 videos. Step 1, and the intro, do this. Step 2, download the video. Step 3, and that's gonna increase a lot of cash flow. Something as small as that.
Right.
And so it's like you're gonna have those kinds of high leverage activities to do as well.
Mhm.
But like I feel like if we had service delivery dialed, you could spend your mornings creating course material. Like that's where I'm at. It's like creating course material. It's like creating that type of stuff. Where if
Right.
I don't have to talk to people about it a bunch of times. But it's like you don't have that stuff dialed in yet. So I'm looking at this video. I want to watch all the way through to kind of see what their thing is. But like it's interesting to see that she has like 6 or 7 plays instead of that one core play. And she's complaining about the same thing you're complaining about. So what I wanted to ask you is how do you like genuinely feel about like this Botox play? Like, do you think that it's like we should keep going down it? Do you think that it's not worthwhile? Because again, the issue I'm seeing is that people are not closing these high ticket packages, and we don't exactly know how to help them close these high ticket packages. And if we can't do
Right.
that, it breaks.
I personally think it's really great. Just the fact that it reminds me a lot of the free video commercial, right? It's like you have that thing in the front end that gets to click, and then they're setting expectations on the back end. And I feel like when I use my analogy now about how I did video commercials, I use that first and then I can transition into that. And it's kind of like it makes sense. Like I do like it, and you know, I think, 15 units free, and like there's like two people on Discovery Call I mentioned to it, and like the ones that I feel like are doing a little bit better or like already have sales experience, like they're like, oh, I get that, versus like new people who like don't have any patience. There to them that's like life or death. And so like the biggest thing that's like kind of come to like that I've been feeling when dealing with clients is like there's such a difference between like completely new people who like just open med spa, they don't like really have that strategy, versus people who like do have a med spa and they like have like and Tanner was kind of talking about that. He's like people who got that far, they have like grit, they understand like sales and stuff like that. Um, so I mean that's kind of like I don't know. I feel like there is something there. Like I think it's very similar to the $97 stuff, but it's just like framed better. And so
What you're talking about though is like, you're talking about sales right now. You're talking about the sales aspect of the client interaction, right? There's getting people,
right,
there's nurturing people, there's selling people. You're
right,
talking about how good or how easy it is to sell people, right?
right.
Is that the bottleneck?
How good they are to sell people.
The
Uh,
bottleneck that you have right now is not necessarily sales, because you can sell. Whether you sell this thing, whether you sell the 97 thing, whether you sell the 297 on your sales call,
right.
any of those, they will all work because you have proven that you can sell. The
Okay.
bottleneck is not that. The bottleneck is where?
The actual service part.
Service delivery. That's the
Right.
bottom. So that's my
Well,
question. Do you feel
right.
like it's the best service delivery move that we're making? Do we keep trying to get people to do this Botox thing, or do we pivot? That's kind of what I'm ultimately getting at.
I think the reason why I brought up the sales thing is just because I feel like one thing like I'm feeling like I'm noticing about like people like Aaron, even someone like Grant Urso, where the first thing they do is the SMS blast. So that means that they already have a list of patients, right? Um, and like probably this guy who gets paid like, they pay like 20K up front, is that they're probably all in a certain place, like in their journey of being a med spa, right? And so I feel like one of the biggest things is the fact, and like even like that girl, I forgot what her name is, but like her survey like asked like how much they're making, right? And so like I almost feel like would this work better if we just had more quality clients, or should we also like I'm thinking like in the beginning service like higher quality clients, like people who have more money, and then find a way down the line to do it for other people as well who don't have the sale experience. Kind of like a Tesla model where they sell the high ticket cars first and then they work their way down. So I was wondering like if that would be a good route where we can go in on this Botox. It's just like the people I'm trying it with aren't probably the best people.
The problem with that is, you're right, it makes sense and you can do that. The problem is then we have to reinvent your entire client acquisition machine to bring those people in. So that means re-scripting your entire ad with languaging that would bring those kinds of people in.
Right.
Potentially even changing your funnel type.
What about like running my current funnel and then maybe like on the side, like test a lower budget? Is that worth it? Or
I think I think it's possible to do. Um, I think it's possible to do that. I just don't know if it's worth the squeeze. I don't know if the lemon is worth the squeeze. Because
right,
but the goal is just to get you consistently 10K per month. That's like the initial goal. It's like we don't need to go and like if we do that, rebuild this thing. I mean, that could take, bro, that could take like a month. It could take 3 months to get back here, right? Like how long did it take you to get some real traction with this thing? It took you a few months.
right,
And on top of that, to be fair, like you modeled something else. You didn't build it from scratch.
right.
So then you have to build it, like it takes time. So it's possible, but it's going to take a lot of time. And then we say like test with a little bit of ad spend, then you're talking about extending that time to like 6 months. It's going to cost even more time if you're only spending a little bit of money.
Right.
Why not just spend more? Why not just get people in through the door, make money instead of us taking, we can certainly take our distributions, but like you take your distribution, I take my distribution, but then both of us like keep 50% available to put back into a pot down the road if we need to. But like, okay, here's what I'm trying to get at. Step one, something about service delivery. My mind is kind of, again, this is what I'm asking you. Like, I don't want to pivot, but like, I'm just looking at what we have here. I'm like, what if it makes more sense to do with Aaron Soares is doing, what Selena is doing, what all these people are doing, which is what you have been doing, and see if I can help you refine that, make that faster, just get everybody through the door, sell a bunch of people, and get you really quickly to that 10K per month. And then
Right.
now we're in a place where we want to have some money, throw some money, figure some other additional shit out, we can, but we're good in terms of the revenue that you're at. We're good in terms of profit you're at. We're both good in terms of how many hours we're working and the profit that we're making.
So like try to make, because a lot of people probably aren't sales like enough, like they're not good enough in sales, make them more profit with each person that comes in through the door rather than all on the back end, right?
I feel like what you're doing is like you're getting everybody that again, I could be wrong, but like I'm under the impression that everybody that's coming in is not really selling back end packages. They're not skilled enough. They're not talented enough, and or we're not helping them enough.
Right. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's just weird because it's only weird because of how many people I see, like how many agencies I see, like med spas that run like the low ticket stuff, that I'm like, there has to be something there, right? Where everyone is doing it. I mean, again, it depends on what offer you're suggesting. Are you suggesting more of like that 247 price point? Because again, like for the New York Jennifer. So like I'm running a, like, just to kind of play advocate for you, like I am running a 247 and she did get book calls. I did the landing page method. I just did it with the 247 offer. And so she's actually getting like book calls from it. I don't know if it's good enough where the show up rate's gonna be as good or anything like that, but right now it has 6 leads at $8 a lead for a 247 Botox offer. And I think there was like 3 or 4 of them that booked a call after. So I feel like there's something there too, where we can do the high ticket stuff and we could do the method where they're booking a call with them. And maybe the people who don't respond can get like the AI or something.
Yeah. Essentially what I'm trying to solve for is this, is like, I'm trying to solve for, hey, we can get his calendar booked and, increase ad spend and help you close deals. But then the thing I don't want is for you to spend all this time and energy closing somebody, setting up their ads and everything, and then they churn after the first month because they're not making
Right.
it. That's what I'm trying to solve for.
Right.
It's like, if we do this Botox play, it's like, it's so hard to do to make a profit from it on the back end. That's like, we bring these people on and then they bitch and complain, they moan. And then we got like 50, you sell like 20 people this upcoming month, go crazy, sell freaking one every other day. And then all it's like fucking churn. Like, it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and that's what I was kind of mentioning, like the 247 one that I'm running for Dr. Jennifer. So like,
It's like that, like more beginner friendly. It seems like that one, whether they sell the back end package or not, they're going to
Right.
make off on the front end to afford to keep paying us, worst case scenario.
Right. Yeah, I wonder how, I gotta see what the price of Botox is. If they're doing 20 units for 247 plus all these bonuses versus 10 units at 97. I mean, are they really making that much more? You know?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't even look at 10 units Botox. Like, it's in one ear. Now.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. But yeah, I agree. Like I feel like I mean, because I've at least tested that 247. I've tested it with Naida, the higher ticket, and it seems like it's around I mean, she was getting like really good cost relief for the free Botox one, but like she was still getting pretty good cost relief for the 247 or for the $300 one. Um
I guess here's what I'll say is like, another thought that came to my mind was, for me to like see what's going on in terms of the ads that you're sending out for everybody. Because like right now, I kind of also feel like I'm not giving you full empathy because I don't fully know exactly what you're setting up for everybody. And
Right.
like even like the stuff like what about like what you're saying is like, hey, what about 250? But I'm doing this, and like I don't even know what that technically means because I'm not in the trenches enough. I don't know what the pricing, I don't know what stuff is. And so I thought to myself, what if I could be in the ads account? What if I could see the ads you're running? If I could be a little bit more hands-on. Again, I don't want to be like, I just want to observe and learn.
Yeah.
So that was a thought. And then the other thing was just like, I don't know, maybe just like let you just do your thing. Let you just do your thing. Again, I could be like not understanding what the fuck I'm talking about, where I said 297, 97, and then the Botox. Like the way I'm thinking about it could be completely fucked. But it's just like yeah. It's just like once you're good, then we can scale. That's all. That's where my mind is. I was just like, I just want you to be good before we scale. I don't want to scale too early. And again, with your 9 to 5 ending in a month, it's like I'm trying to prepare us for you to be able to ramp up at that time.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I think I'm also like just thinking like, well, for the free Botox one, like have we just not tried it enough? Like I haven't actually sold that method on a sales call. It was to an existing client who ran a $300 offer before, right? So all she knows is collecting money from a $300 offer and not having expectations about breaking even when someone comes in, right? Versus like maybe on a sales call, if I like can sell the method of them breaking even, then they're like there's that higher expectation of they have to sell back and stuff. Maybe they'll take it more seriously when they get onboarded, right? And they actually get the calls and they, I just feel like I'm getting like a little bit like regardless of what offer, I feel like I'm just getting a little bit better about them taking it a little bit more seriously. But again, like all the ones that are very new, they're just so much harder to convince. Like they just think that marketing, is just gonna be its own separate thing. Where I feel like anytime I do talk to someone that's a little bit better, like they're teaching me things are like yeah, like we're gonna do this, like they're just more on it, I feel. And so like
What I'm gauging from like just the way you're talking and like your language and your face and your body is like, to me, it feels like you're like, hey, Kushik, let's keep fighting. That's what I'm getting from you.
you're right.
If am I correct? Like, in assuming that, like, you're basically like telling me, like, hey, Kushik, this Botox thing, bro, like, let's keep fighting for. I don't think I've sold it to enough people. I don't think enough people have experienced it. Let's see a few people more go to it before we come to some kind of a conclusion. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from you. And if that's the vibe you're getting from you, then I trust you. I trust that. I trust that that's the right decision to make.
Right. Yeah, I do. I am fighting for it, whether it's that or like a 97. I just think like there has to be something where like I could set an expectation that it's okay if people break even or that they don't want to because the numbers, right? Kind of like you said, it's like a numbers game. And I guess I just really want to see what happens if like 10 people show up and then, and then what if they sold one package or something to 10 people, like 1 out of 10 person, and they just make a ton of money. And then they're like, whoa, like, like
I see your logic is, Kushik, I got these people coming in. I've never sold them on this thing. I'm going to sell them on this thing. And then throughout that sales process and the onboarding process, I'm going to ensure that they understand it's okay to break even, that not to set the expectations for making profit, and they have to focus on the back end. And my theory is that because of the new way I'm going to position everything, that I'm going to have people selling those packages. And when they sell the packages, they're going to make way more money than what we're doing right now. And once I crack that code, we can just apply to that machine to everybody. That is not new.
right,
That's what you're
right.
saying.
That's yeah. So that's how I feel. I again, it feels like when I do the same method to someone who's completely new, it's so much harder. And I think she was even saying that she's like, yeah, all my best, like the ones that are 8 month plus, they're the ones that were already making a certain amount. Like the ones who like try to like hold back on ad spend and they're like, very picky, like I think she was saying like it's really hard to keep those people. And yeah, so that's just like, but again, I don't know how like feasible that is in terms of like scaling and those sort of things. So like I don't know. I feel like there's kind of like what you're mentioning, where there's the side where it's like maybe for these types of people who are making under a certain amount, they could be, but I don't know if that's too complex, you know.
I mean, I think what she's doing, she's got like 6 different plays she's running for 6 different kinds of. It's like everybody falls into one of these 6 people, and she's been able to. I think that she's been able to make that work.
Right.
Tells me
So
that.
maybe like yeah. Yeah, we're like, if I feel like someone's seasoned enough in sales, I could do the free Botoxing because they probably just care about like how many people come in versus someone else who's like very new. They probably want to see some money, especially if they don't even have like a list I could do SMS blast to, right? Where the person who is paying up front, like they just kind of need to see that. And then, maybe if they get profitable from that, then we can work our way down to like a 97 where it's like, okay, you want to open the floodgates,
Let's do this then. Let's just spend the rest of this month, while you're where you are before quitting the 9 to 5. Let's just spend this month and just say, let's commit to just like cracking this then.
Okay.
Let's just do that, and we'll know at the end of the month. Let's get your ads on where it needs to be, where you feel like you're spending a decent amount, where we can get a decent amount of volume. Like maybe try to close 3 people this month or something.
Right.
3 to 5 people. That's 5's a little bit much, but maybe 3 we can crack, and try to get 3 people on board and see what happens.
Okay. Yeah. I think now I'm in a place where I can probably start increasing the ad spend a bit. Because again, I was just trying to like get by on like the Father's Day stuff. I'd say the only thing is like, not that, I mean, I plan on working there, but I mean, this weekend, like with my sister's, but so many birthdays in June, but I'm going to like Georgia for that weekend, and then probably nothing until July, and then I'll probably have like one weekend where I'm doing something. But other than that, I mean, again, I'm still planning on working during those times, so we'll increase that ad spend, and yeah, let's just try
Just try. And then in terms of like the question you asked like 30 minutes ago, which is like the high leverage activities in the morning, I don't know that there is a high leverage activity for you other than, if I'm you, really watching Selena's video really inspired me to like what I'm looking at is like you starting. I know that for sure you're gonna need to hire some people. So what you're gonna maybe spend your mornings doing is getting educated and starting to post some stuff and start interviewing people. That's maybe the high leverage activity that you can do, because we cannot create course material, module, all that stuff until we have dialed in the play, and we haven't dialed in the play yet. So it's like, what else
so
can you work on? Those,
people I can reach out to.
I'm sorry.
Or what was the activity? The
So the high
morning.
level activity is like, again, if you look at Selena's video, she has 3 people that basically call leads for her clients in the Philippines. And then she has 1 client success manager that is kind of basically an account manager. And then she has 1 person that runs ads for all of her clients. So it's like, you're going to need somebody to run ads for all your clients. You're going to need somebody that's going to be a success manager. So it's like, you can start looking at these people. I don't know if we're going to pivot towards like having people in the Philippines. Like I looked at her numbers, like, dude, that's actually not that bad. Like $600 a month, like for 3 of them is like really good. So instead of like, because right now you have all your clients call the leads. So maybe we do pivot to this once you're out of your 9 to 5 and you can actually like, we can manage this stuff.
Right.
Because everybody I'm seeing, like the only people I don't see doing that is like done with you, like Jordan.
Right.
I think he's been, he's like, if I look at Selena, he's like way further than her, and that's how he's got there. He figured out a lot of additional stuff.
Right.
So
Do you think it'd be worth for me to try to reach out to Selena, see if I can like pay for an hour of time?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it'd be worth talking to Selena, I think. I don't know if she
Yeah.
would share information with you, but I think
Yeah. Probably. But
definitely be like, hey, fellow brown person.
yeah, right. feel like we have a very similar type personality.
Yeah. So yeah,
Please.
talk to her for sure. So yeah, maybe reach out to her. Maybe you can kind of reach out to her and ask her specifically about like hiring and firing. So like that's the high leverage activity that you can do, is that. Like that's her bottleneck was literally a CSM, right?
Right. Yeah, I just don't know if like the client success manager thing would be something like after I start scaling.
I think because like what else can you spend your time on? I cannot think of anything that you can spend your time on other than like there's not much to do right now for you and your agency. There's just nothing. I cannot
Right.
think of anything that you would do other than spend more money on ads to close more deals. But like what you can do is not, you can learn what it's like to hire a CSM. Like, okay, so I go to Indeed.com, then I post, and then here's how I interview people. Hey, Celine, did you record some interviews that you had? Okay, what all did you have to train this person up on? So Celine is going to know, like, okay, it took me 2 months to train this person up. Here's what I have to do. Here's what I have to teach them. Here's the bottlenecks you're going to have. That's the kind of stuff you can prepare for now.
Right.
And then same thing with her media buyer, same thing with the people in the Philippines. You can learn those kinds of things now.
Right.
And you can start setting up some stuff on Indeed. You can start setting these kinds of things up. Maybe we don't find the CSM right now, but we learn how to interview people. Maybe those are the kinds of things that you can do.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. I think I also have my mind in terms of again, like one thing you posted on the general channel was like, or the value drop was the interview style content.
Yeah.
To look at what my numbers are looking like right now, but I think it's worth trying that. I just don't know like anyone who I feel confident enough would be on like that call with me and be like hyping me up,
You just need some stuff, dude. That's another high leverage activity for sure that you can do actually. That's
Yeah.
actually maybe I think that probably comes before anything else. That
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
can-
I was saying that, and then one other thing that came to mind because Daniel reached out to me about what messages I sent to like leads before like I texted him, so I was like sending him some stuff, and then we were like chatting a little bit. I was like, it reminded me of you remember or like how when you make us watch that like niche course, he was saying like every Monday or you get with those three people and critique each other's sales calls and like do that. Like I wonder if I should like it'd be smart to do any kind of like pods where it's like me, Daniel, what's their name? Us, my mind's blanking. The two of them. And like yeah, like Adam, Jorge or something like that, where we're just like kind of like that Mr. Beast method where they're like all on the same level and they're just like each of them are learning something and then they're like, I don't know if it works for something like this, but
Are you talking about like sales calls specifically, or like what would you guys drill each other on?
yeah, like sales calls for sure. But just in general, like someone cracked the interview style and it's like, okay, they shared their questions that they asked, or someone cracked AI, they shared this, right? And then everyone's like sharing what they learned and stuff. Like I don't know.
What I would do is this, if I were you, if like I don't think you need to create a whole thing for that, right?
Right.
That if any, like, and I do my best to try to create that kind of an environment. Actually, maybe I don't. I think maybe the environment or culture I curate is like where I just share shit. So what you can do is you can maybe, start that. You can post in the Wins channel and tag people and maybe PM like Jorge and a few of the guys and be like, hey guys, Jorge seems like he's down. Like maybe you guys can start something within the Slack, like in the Wins.
Yeah.
Do your thing,
Yeah.
dude. Like,
Cool.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
if you want to fucking post something in the values channel or like the wins or the general chat and be like, hey guys, we're doing a pod. Who here is interested? And then people respond. And then you post your own shit. Like, dude, by all means, you know, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think that you need to designate something. Like I feel like if people have something of value, they should be able to share within the general tab. They should be able to share within the wins channel. They should be able to share it there.
Right.
So I don't think you need to build a whole nother thing just for that. That's like I feel like that's
That's another, yeah.
that's a
Maybe
whole
like a calls thing or something. But
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. That's a long process.
I don't know about like drilling sales calls or anything. I mean, I'm just looking at you and like where you're at, bro. It's like it's very simple. You need to
Yeah.
craft this delivery
Yeah.
and keep up your sales calls. It's like it's not that sexy. It's pretty boring. It's pretty boring in
Yeah,
terms of
for sure, for sure. That's good. That's good. I'm glad you said that answer.
it's good that you have boring problems to solve.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
what else is brewing in your mind, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. Like, I think the next set of people I'll see, maybe I'll just kind of gauge about where they're at, in their journey, and like, if they're not making as much, or like they're very new, then I feel like it would make sense to push for like maybe like a higher ticket thing. But anyone I can, I think I will try to sell like on the free Botox method.
Push Botox till end of bucks a month, and then podcast style content. What else did we say?
So look at CSMs.
Reach out to Selena to get help with hiring and training CSM, setters, and media buyer. Those are the three roles. And in terms of order of operations from highest to least, I think that these really are it.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Nothing crazy. Anything else that's brewing in your mind, bro?
No, I think that's a update on everything so far. So
Cool. MJ, Jorge, I'm surprised you guys still here, man. What are you guys doing? Get a life.
Bro, I'm taking advantage of chilling in this robe. That's why.
There you go. Hey, get me one of those. Bro, you need to like
that's on us.
you need to send me a link, bro. You need to get your girlfriend to send you a link and then send me that link, bro.
We get that affiliation code first, Jorge20 at checkout. So I get a little kickback.
I got you, man.
I got you.
I'm
We'll show up next week with our robes on.
we got the Hugh Hefner club in here.
Gonna be the vibe soon.
Oh, it's so comfortable though. Like honestly, like I'm TMI, I'm chilling out here, everything hanging. You guys understand if
Yeah.
For sure. All right, y'all. Well, if that's everything, man, it going once. In terms of anything, anybody have questions going once?
I do real quick. It's similar to Aman's situation. So I stopped working at the gym. I don't know if I told you actually. I stopped working at the gym.
Oh, damn. Let's go.
Yeah, but I started doing content for my boy instead. So the 3 days, and I know how you feel about this, but the 3 days that I was working at the gym, I just replaced them with 3 days that I'm working with my friend, the guy who referred me to the owner of the gym, right? I worked with him before in the past. And so basically I'm his videographer, right? So I just follow him around, we hang out, and I film him, and then I create the content, I edit it. It's super simple shit. Excuse me, but I'm getting paid way more. I'm getting $4 grand for all that stuff, right? A month. Like on a salary basis. So now I'm like thinking, okay, like man, like as much as I love him, he's my friend, but like I need to get the fuck out of that, I need to get out of that. So now I'm in a space where I'm like, okay, I'm getting traction with the agency. I got to keep hammering it out. At what point, or I guess like from your perspective, what's my exit strategy from there so I can fully focus on the agency?
Very simple. And maybe this will apply to you, MJ, as well. What I always tell people, for people that are trying to leave their 9 to 5, is first you have to figure out what is your life expense cost. That's it. Like figure out your minimal life expense. What is your freedom number? And so a lot of people, they think like, oh, I have to make 10K a month or 5K a month or what. No, what do you have to make to get by? Where you don't go out, you don't go crazy. And oftentimes it's something like 1,500, 2,000, right? It's not something crazy. Once you make that amount, in my opinion, you shouldn't do anything else. You should not do anything else. You should not do, content or a 9 to 5 or anything. At that point, that if you just pour more time and energy and resources into what you're doing now, theoretically you're at 2K from your business. Well, then you should have at least double the time. So now you should be at 4K. If you do the same input, you should have double the output. Yeah, if you have double the input, you should have double the output. And eventually it should become exponential. So that's my answer to you. It's not, you don't have to hit like 5K or 10K a month or whatever. Like that's bullcrap. It's your minimal freedom number. And chances are, bro, like you're already doing that. Like last month you made like what, 3K, 4K or something?
Yeah,
You're-
about.
Yeah, you're like already there. Like if I was you, like that's, I mean, if I were you, what I would do is I would try to ramp up ad spend and see if you can get more book calls. That's what I would do. And if you can, then it's like this month, like for example, the month of June. How much did you spend last month? Like on ads?
1,300, 1,200, 1,300.
And what is your cost per acquisition? Like $600, $700?
Around that, yeah. I could pull it up actually, but
It's like I would just try to like maybe see if you can double it.
yeah, the total cost per, yeah, 750, 600. Yeah,
Yeah, try to double it. If you can double it and then get your previous clients to pay, like maybe you can hit like you got 3 call out, you'd probably be at like 6, 7K this month. It's like, you know what I mean? Like if you're at 7, you went from 3K, 7K, you realized input double, output double, you know, you should be at a place where that should be your exit, in my opinion.
okay, for sure. So then ramp up the ad spend, because I know last time we did that, we just broke it.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying.
Chance that we're gonna take.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is like if I'm you, then that's why I use the words like I would try to, keyword try to. I would try to ramp up your ad spend and see if we don't break things and see if you can double them. If you can ramp up your ad spend, if we can ramp up our ad spend, we go double and nothing breaks. And it's just like, okay, the more input, the more output. Okay, it's a good sign. And then maybe you do one more month. My suggestion is like do this month, try to double, maybe next month even double some more.
Gotcha.
And you pretty much by the end of this month or like mid next month, you should pretty much know whether you can do this all in and like this is all you do.
Mhm. Okay, because yeah, that's honestly like my next goal, right? Just there, and then obviously I'm still at my parents' crib, right? So get out, get my own place. So that's what I think of on like those things that I would need to live off of. They're kind of like fake, where it's like I'm not like paying rent or anything. You know, I have my expenses like, you know, bills and shit, but I'm not having like 2K a month gone in rent or like, you know, an extra, you know, 1,500 in groceries for myself. So that's where like the rest of the thoughts come in.
I mean, dude, I may sound frugal, but like, bro, I had like 6 figures saved up before I moved out of my parents' house. Like that's what I think people need to do.
Mhm.
People, I feel like too many, again, I'm not trying to impose my thoughts upon you.
How do you save, bro? How do you
Huh?
do that? How do you save?
How do I save?
Yeah, I need to like, what do you like? I need to like not like just put it somewhere so I can't look at it.
Okay, here's what I mean. Okay, when I was building my agency, like here's is I remember looking back at the numbers. I made a post about this. The average person in the US makes like 4 to 5K a month. And you know how much they have left over at the end of each month?
0.
0 to 500, 0 to 600. You know what I was making? I was making about 7K a month. And my expense was like 1K. So the average person was saving 600. I was saving 6 grand. But I wasn't, my revenue wasn't much more, but my savings was literally 10 times more. So in 1 year, I accomplished what average person accomplished in 10 years. If you just put in that perspective, that's it. There's not much. And I just did that for a fucking year. And so I didn't buy anything. I didn't buy any cars, motorcycles. I know you're a motorcycle head. I wouldn't do any of that stuff. Just for a year, I just fucking kept my head down. And one last thing I'll tell you this is Jorge, MJ, everybody here, 6% is the number. I don't know if I ever went over this with you on one, but 6% is the number. What is 6%? 6% is like, let's say you take your money, your cash, and you throw it into, it's 6% is the average, but like equities, real estate, stocks, if you put your money into them, you're going to get a 6% return. And so what does that mean? If you have $2 million, and I know that sounds like a lot of money, but if you have $2 million in cash saved, net worth, and if you put that to work, you're going to get $10,000 per month that it's going to grow on its own. So what wealthy people do is they live on that 10,000 per month. So a lot of people, there's like in the kind of hidden rules that, you know, kind of like this upper echelon they know of is 2 million, and then 20 million is fuck you money. The people that make 2 million, if you invest 2 million into investments, real estate and stocks and whatever, you're going to get back $10,000 a month. You live on that 10,000 per month. If you make 20 million and have that as your net worth, you invest that in the market, you get back 100,000 a month. And that's fuck you money. Nobody can spend 100,000 a month. Most people cannot. So I always tell people, like, if you're in this game of agency or whatever, 20 million might be a bit much to shoot for, but like you can shoot for 1 to 2 million.
Whoa.
That's a year.
No, 1 to 2 million saved.
Oh, okay, saved.
I
Saved.
was allowed to think that big. That's great.
So if you again, so one more time, if you save 20 million, and when I say save, what I mean by that is like that's your net worth. So that could mean you put 10K into something and it doubles to 20 million. What I'm just saying is like you have 20 million of liquidity. If you have 20 million and you put that into the stock market and real estate, whatever, it's going to spit back out at you 100,000 per month. That's passive income. If you have 2 million and you put that to work, that's going to spit back at you 10,000 per month. Most people, I feel like the average person, 10,000 per month is enough for us to live our ideal life.
Yeah.
Covers your rent, covers your food, covers your car, covers everything. So what I'm saying is the average person, now when I say that number, you're like, oh, fuck, that's like a big number. It's like, okay, now that's what you work towards. And so when you see these people that you're like, bro, you got so much money, what the fuck are you working for? It's because they know this thing that I'm sharing with you guys, which is 2 million, 2 million or 20 million. They're trying to save that money so that they can live off their passive income. So baby steps, my first thing. So anyways, what I was trying to get at is this. If I'm you, Jorge, step one is like, just get to a place where you can do this agency thing full time. Step two is try to get to a place where you can save $100,000 cash. And if you fucking grind for a year, bro, I promise you grind for a year, you can do it. Like there's this girl, Selena, me and I'm gonna talking about. This girl makes 30,000 a month. Literally her numbers, makes 30,000 a month. She has a CSM for 3.5K. She has 2 people for some. Basically, we did the number. She was saving like $21,000 a month, and she's literally 21 years old. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, bro. In 6 months, you can have 100K. You know what you can do 100K? 20K, 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 5 rental properties. That shit grows fast. Just save 100K. You know, just save 100K.
I do have a thought though that I think might also be really important too is I think the habit of saving is one that starts on like very little. Like I think it starts on like it is a habit. And I think that's what I mean when we hear about all these basketballers and stuff like that, people making stupid amount of money and they lose it all in one go. It's like what, right? So it's a very little thing. At least for me, like I realized that very, very early on, even in like, you know, doing my 9 to 5 and whatnot, is I needed to figure out how to save and I needed to figure out how I needed to live. So if I dial that in, no matter how small I'm making, whenever the floodgates open, it's almost it's easy. It's easy to do. It's not a struggle, right? So the way that I figured out for myself, I'm weird. It doesn't have to work for everybody. I do tell my other friends that we work 9 to 5 to making around the same amount of money. The first thing I needed to figure out was how do I eat? Like because groceries could always take like the most amount of money. And I didn't also want to spend time cooking as well. So of course, if you know you're gonna save time trying to eat, it's gonna cost you money. That's just the way it works, right? And so I am either gonna, spend time trying to learn how to keep cooking, and then I won't have as much time as I need to, or I'm gonna figure something out. Somehow I worked for me, right? And it's literally freaking Crave, right? Like the Crave packed foods that they at least they sell here in Canada. There's this like packed food called Crave, and they have like different flavors or items or different things like pasta or chicken and different stuff, right? And I looked at how much it cost. I'm like, this is a freaking gold mine for me. Like one pack cost about maybe at the time, I know it's kind of creeping up every dollar here and there, but right now currently it costs like maybe $4 for a pack, right? About $4 for a pack. So
I figured in my mind, like if I get, and I don't eat much. Like I'm not a breakfast person to begin with. And when I realized that it's the easiest way for me to monitor my calories too, because I was a bit bloated at some point. So I just know that that one pack, it probably is like about 500 calories. And all I'm doing is make up in the evening for any other thing. It could be, I don't know, noodles, or I could eat out once in a while, right? As long as I would buy like the Crave pack maybe for 2 weeks. I buy 10 packs, right? I buy 10 packs. That's one pack each day. My routine is pretty strict. One pack each day. That takes me about maybe quote unquote between the 10, maybe $60. $60 in a span of 2 weeks. And the other maybe, $20 or whatnot, I could go buy eggs or bacon, any stuff I want for breakfast or what have you. So I'm eating twice a day at the very least. And in 2 weeks, I'm probably spending $80 or 100 at the most, right? So in a month, I'm spending 200 on groceries, right? Which for me was like it's a gold mine for me. Is how I've dialed it in. I literally only spend 200 a month on groceries. So my monthly expenditure on anything else, gas, what have you, I'm spending only $400 a month. Only 400. That's how lean I keep myself. So everything else that comes out, and the way that I personally do it is I use my credit card to monitor. So my credit card maybe would start at like maybe, I don't know, maybe 2,000 or something like that. So I would look at it and I would see, okay, if I went 500 below it, I'm like, yeah, I spend too much, right? Like if I look at my history, like if I spend too much. So that's how I monitor. So I want to keep myself 400 every month, right? And so everything else, when I make whatever I do in terms of like my 9 to 5, I take all of that. I just take 400 from my income. I put it into my credit card. The rest, I throw it into savings. I only keep like maybe $50 in my checkings. That's how I do it. I don't need any money in my checkings at all. I just need for my daily, and I figure what my daily is, which is like 400 a month. I take the money that I make in my income, I put it into that to just replenish it at the end of the month. Okay, I'm back up full. I can keep going again. And every other thing else, I just throw it into. I cut out. I don't have Prime. I don't have Netflix. I literally know everything that's coming out of my account. Right? I don't have Prime. I don't have Netflix. I don't have any other thing, and I'm fine with it. Like I've dialed that in for myself in terms of me knowing what that is. So if I had to make 10 grand today, right? Like, because I use the same methodology or the same principle to try and save like, I don't know, 10K in like what, 4 months or so, off 3K a month, something like that. Right? That's because I was literally like saving about 1,000, 1,500 every month. Now it's not the case anymore. I save a little more less because I'm doing everything. My brother isn't working at the moment, so I have way more overhead to have to deal with. But at, two people in a household, me paying maybe 650 in rent, I was saving 2K a month on just $3,000 a month. So in like 4 months, I've saved 10K, right? And it's not a lot of money. So if I have more money coming in, I could exponentially save even more. So it's that habit that literally starts from like very small, figuring out like what bare minimum I can live off of. And then once I dial that in, every money that I come in is just throwaway money for the most part. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that, MJ. I feel like everybody, of course, everybody's different, right? Everybody's different. Like that is what works for you, MJ.
Yeah.
And thing is, if we look at, and again, we're all friends here, we're all being a little candor. Jorge loves to, I think, splurge a little bit, and that's what you see him cracking up. And so when you share that, Jorge's like, I like my vroom.
Fucker's wearing a robe right now. I know he likes to spend.
You know what I mean? He's got this cashmere robe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so everybody's a little bit different. And it's like nobody's life is perfect, and everybody's got their strengths, they've got their weaknesses. When I look at you, MJ, I'm like with the skills that you've built and everything you've done, bro. Like, man, the moment you crack paid ads and you can just give time to this, like, here's the thing with you. I'm looking at MJ, like, seriously, I want to see like you build the funnel, and I want to see you focus on your sales skills That's the one thing that I'm concerned about. And it's not even a concern, but it's like I just want to see you because again, I saw what you did previously. If you can do that, I know that you're smart enough to figure out service delivery, just seeing your experience. And then once you've closed 1 or 2 deals, then ramping up ad spend and your life will change. Because you built such a strong foundation in terms of savings and literally everything you're saying right now, like you just put you've deprived yourself so much of dopamine and you've had so much like discipline in your life and figured out how to make things work. Like life has just caused you to become this person that you are with all these amazing things. And that's all it is. It's like for you, it's just the capacity and ability to earn more. That's all it's gonna be for you.
Yeah.
Jorge, when I look at you, bro, for you, the challenge with you is like being able to withhold that dopamine, I think. That's my opinion, based off of just me getting to know you. You literally tell me when we first met. I remember our conversation from like 2 years. I still remember it. What you told me about, hey, I made 6 grand. I know it's possible. Like that mindset you had. Literally, that's what you said to me. I made 6 grand. I know it's possible. I know I can do it again. But I bought this thing and I bought this thing. I did this and then I put myself in a situation. So it's like I know with you, bro, that's all it is. With you, you just need to have you are making so much progress the past few months, right? Like literally you're saying it. You told me like, bro, every month and you have the numbers prove it. You just need to be able to like you need to build your life, in my opinion, respectfully. I'm just telling you what I would do. You need to have something to look forward to every quarter. Like this quarter, we're doing this. Next 6 months, we're doing this. And keep yourself busy for like a year and make sure that those things cost as little as possible. So instead of thinking about moving out, instead of thinking about the motorcycle, instead of thinking about the car, think about these other things that would fill your soul that you can really look forward to that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. And get your girl behind her. Get the people that you love behind it. And so this way, your overhead is not going to be crazy. And then spend, again, a year, 6 months, a year, and have this cash and tell you, this is what I did. I'm telling you what worked for me. I told myself, I'm not going to move out of my parents' house. I'm not going to get a car. I'm not going to do shit until I've taken all this fucking money and I deployed it and made it work for me. Once I have made it work for me, now I'm going to go chill and do what the fuck I want to do. Until then, I have not earned it. And I feel like most people don't think that way. And if you can do that, Jorge, if you can force yourself to do that, you're going to be really good, bro. You just need to commit to 6 months to a year doing that. And then I'm like going around one by one. There's nothing that jumps out at me, bro. Like I think just yeah. I mean, I don't see anything like big or wrong or any difficulty. I mean, you've done so much work on yourself, just like MJ, just like Jorge, just like we all have, and you set yourself to be in this position that you're in right now. And right now, it's like, for you, it's just like having a pair and you grew the pair and you quit. That's all it was for you. It's like you fucking just grew a pair. And now that you grew a pair, it's just like, okay, you already have the discipline. You're not a big splurger. You know how to save money, it seems like. You know how to stay focused. You know how to stay disciplined. So with you, it's just like, okay, you just need to grow a pair. And now that you just need to go at it, I think. And, tell yourself, hey, look, in 6 months and a year, whatever I make, it's not going to go towards buying a bunch of H&M clothing or whatever, but rather I'm going to deploy those in some assets. Yeah. That's what I think it is. Man, who knew we were going to talk about like financial literacy today?
Yeah, I feel like I needed that the most as far as like any more of the business skills or like, management. It's that because I don't feel like I'm a big spender, but I'm like definitely the person to be like, fuck it, whatever, let's do it.
Yeah.
So for sure, I hear you.
Yeah. But the thing with that we all have here is like we all have the ability to earn a lot. We're all very close. Everybody here, we're all so close. You're all so close to being at that 10K, that 20K per month. Just don't let that lifestyle creep up and save. Keep your head down for 6 months to a year. And then that's it. That's all you have to do, 6 months to a year. Don't let anybody know. No Lambo, no nothing for 6 months to a year. And then afterwards, enjoy yourself.
We got you.
Yeah.
Lambo 1 year. That's all I heard.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else want to chat about anything else?
Oh, good.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. All right, you hooligans. We'll see you guys next week.
All right.
Peace.
Thanks.